ABC News, I'm Karen Chase. President Obama huddles with top legal advisors at the White House today to discuss steps he can take to tighten gun control. More from ABC's Karen Travers.
President Obama says he has unfinished business on gun control. And in the last year of his presidency, he's focusing on tightening background checks. The White House wants more dealers to be classified as high volume, those that sell at gun shows or online. That would mean they are no longer exempt from background checks. Gun rights groups have promised to take legal action, saying any executive orders would be an overreach of the president's powers. Karen Travers, ABC News. Washington.
Clear your storm drains and stock up on sandbags. That advice from L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti as California braces for a week of rain.
Some of the flooding that we expect and the damage that we expect to see can be minimized. You may save your property and you may save your loved ones and your own lives.
Forecasters blame El Nino. The latest on the Texas affluenza team, ABC's Jim Ryan has details on Ethan Couch and his mother.
Tanya Couch faces a charge of hindering the apprehension of a fugitive by accompanying her son to Mexico after it looked as though his probation for intoxication manslaughter was in jeopardy. Ethan Couch now has a lawyer who acknowledges that.
We want an eye for an eye. That's human nature.
But Fernando Benitez is fighting the return of the 18-year-old to the U.S. because
he's not committed a crime in Mexico.
That could delay his return for days, weeks, or longer. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
It could be a down day for the Dow. Stocks dropped so fast in China, the automatic brakes kicked in. European markets tumbled too. Game of Thrones author R.R. Martin has bad news for fans of the franchise. He missed the deadline and hasn't finished his next book, Winds of Winter. Online supporters told him not to sweat it. A smart bra is one of the hottest new gadgets debuting at the Consumer Electronics Show that opens in Las Vegas this week. It tracks your heart rate, breathing, and activity. This is ABC News.
Are you working so hard to make a living you can't take time to make any real money? Is every day the same boring routine going nowhere and money runs out before the month? Well, my name is Ron LeGrand, and for over 30 years now, I've been helping clients take their life back by buying and selling houses with no money, credit, experience, or licenses. If you call 800-350-0255, 24 hours, and leave a message, I'll send you my new book and CD absolutely free so you can see how. I bought hundreds of houses and trained thousands to do the same. Call 800-350-0255 to get your free starter kit until 500 are given away. You'll learn how to make a full-time income on a part-time basis without risk, largely tax-free, and get 90% of the work done for you for pennies. That's 800-350-0255. Again, 800-350-0255. Call now and take your life back.
Armed militia members continue to occupy a federal building on an Oregon wildlife refuge. ABC's Alex Stone has their story.
The militia members, along with the family of Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy, known for his 2014 standoff with the federal government over grazing rights in Nevada, say they plan to occupy the federal building at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in Oregon for years. Ammon Bundy, Cliven Bundy's son, is talking to reporters.
We will not be aggressive. That will be something that we will not be. We are here to defend the people.
He allowed our crews into the area on Sunday. There was no sign of law enforcement. The militia members had their own roadblock set up, and two armed members manned a guard tower. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The season opener of Downton Abbey had fans transfixed last night. It's the first episode of the show's final season. It's payback time for Ben, who was dumped by Caitlin on the last season of The Bachelorette. Now he is the Bachelor in the season that starts tonight. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
Yeah, hey, Art, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I got a quick story. I was in California, and I was basically babysitting my mom's apartment. She had taken a week vacation to Las Vegas, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, and she had a big mirror on the mantle above the fireplace, and I had the sliding glass door shut. You know, there was no wind, and the mirror, like, flew off about 3 or 4 feet, and it scared the heck out of me.
Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell, live weeknights 9 to midnight on KMAS.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
The Minnesota Vikings claim a seat in the playoffs. Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Vikings win the NFC North for the first time since 2009. After a 2013 win over the Green Bay Packers, they advance to the playoffs, facing the Seattle Seahawks next week.
Teddy shotgun. On third down, he has Adrian by his side. He'll give it to Adrian, who sprints up the middle, lowers the head. Second effort to the goal line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Paul Allen with the call on KFAN as Adrian Peterson runs 3 yards for a touchdown. The Cleveland Browns fire head coach Mike Pettin and general manager Ray Farmer. Many are confused as to why the higher-ups have decided to hire a new coach before finding a GM. Owner Jimmy Haslam explains.
Sashi Brown's job is Executive Vice President Football Operations. He will have the ultimate say on the roster. So if you think about it, we just think this makes more sense to hire the head coach first and then second to hire the talent acquisition or the general manager.
And the San Francisco 49ers get rid of rookie coach Jim Tomsula after a 5-11 season. On the court.
20 on the shot clock. Moore circling right to Gasol. In the right corner to Butler. Works on Damari Carroll. Here is Butler jumper. Got it! Oh, you got to be kidding me!
Jimmy Butler hits the go-ahead 3 to give the Chicago Bulls a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Bulls went on to defeat the Toronto Raptors 115-113. Butler scored a franchise record 40 points in the second half, breaking Michael Jordan's record of 39. in the NHL.
Goligoski, top of the left circle with 10. Center point for Klingberg. No, broken up by Clutterbuck. Calvin DeHaan got it back to center. Klingberg on it there with 5 seconds on the Islander logo. One last shot wide left of the net, and the Islanders hang on and beat the best team in the NHL, the Dallas Stars, by the final score of 6-5.
Chris King with the call on WRHU-FM. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Well, good morning. It's 6:10 here at KMAS Daybreak, and Carol and I will update you on the latest in the weather and road conditions, including school outages here shortly. Get through some sports on a game heard here yesterday. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns in a second quarter outburst, and the Seattle Seahawks emphatically snapped Arizona's 9-game winning streak. Wow, 36-6 here on KMAS. Playing on that same field where they lost the Super Bowl in a heartbreaker last February. Seahawks now 10-6, dominated from their opening possession and led 30-6 in the half. Hawks will play in Minnesota this weekend in the first round of the playoffs, Sunday morning at 10. We'll start our coverage at 8. Other playoff games are Saturday, Kansas City at Houston, and then Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Sunday, the morning game is the Hawks, like I mentioned, then Green Bay at Washington. And KMAS will air all the games this weekend. In college basketball, the Husky men beat Southern Cal 87-85, and Washington State over UCLA 85-78. One more sports note for you. It was 10-8. The final, as Sporting Everett FC beat on the Ole Town Artesians at a frigid pavilion at Evergreen. It was 38 degrees inside the pavilion at first kick. Yeah, that's right, Carol. 38. I also might point out I did not see you there. It's cold.
I'm sure it was cold. And I have information about the weather that's happening right now.
Yes.
And they call it a light snow mist. You can call it what you want. The temperature is 33, and the forecast for today does call for just clouds, rain, snowy, early changing to rain and becoming sort of intermittent later on. Temps are going to stay in the mid-30s throughout the day. They say 1 to 3 inches of snow expected. I say that with a grain of snow.
Grain of salt on the roads.
But coming in this morning, there was a lot more snow than I expected on the road and coming down. So we'll see. Just drive carefully out there. Tonight, the low will be 33. There's going to be showers, as I said, this afternoon, cloudy overnight. Rain tomorrow, a high of 39 with rain all day. And then Wednesday, we should see some sunshine with a high of 44. And the rest of the week, sunny, partly cloudy with only about a 10% chance of rain. So it's sort of going back to regular winter temperatures. Temps in the low 40s throughout the week, and then overnight temps in the low 30s to high 20s.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the gateway to the Olympic Mountains, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It is a Monday here, the first show of 2016. It's the 4th of January, and we are joining you with some wintry conditions this morning. Carol and I drove in together, and so the video you see, first off, it looks like I'm going very fast.
I know it does.
I was going the speed limit, if not well below, on our trek in this morning. So I went and picked her up. And so the roads that we dealt with were a mix of highway, freeway, and they were sloshy, I would say. Mm-hmm. Once you get off into the main side roads, more snow that hasn't been driven over, obviously, yet. And then some slick conditions going around corners. Mm-hmm. I would consider it slushy, though. However, if we continue to see a little bit of rain, and then the weather temperatures continue to drop as they often do right before sunrise,
right,
it could get a little slick. So definitely be careful. We're not seeing any alerts currently through the Washington State Department of Transportation. We'll, of course, monitor those all morning for you. The other story, Carol, is the schools. And on KMAS.com, right at the alerts, flash alerts, you see that red banner at the top of the page. It's got the most up-to-date list, of the schools that have been delayed or closed. Kitsap and Mason County, Maryland Foster talked about it. Shelton School District, 2 hours late this morning and no morning preschool. Also, Pioneer, Hood Canal, and Southside are 2 hours late this morning. Moving to Thurston County, the Griffin School District, 2 hours late and buses are on snow routes. North Thurston Public Schools are 2 hours late. No preschool, no out-of-district transportation. Ole schools, the schools and buses are 2 hours late, but the buses will be on the normal routes. Rainier and Tumwater and Yelm, all 2 hours late as well. The Evergreen Christian School is 2 hours late. Pope John Paul II High School is 2 hours late. Mason County Christian School, 2 hours delay today. And a couple other service organizations that you need to know about. The South Sound YMCA Child Care Services, 2 hours late for Yelm programs only. And the Squaxin Island Tribe is 2 hours late today due to inclement weather. Also may mention, Carol, the emergency cold weather shelter will continue to be open from 8 p to 8 a. They be tonight predicted. Anytime it's cold out there, the Community Lifeline Emergency Cold Weather Shelter will be open. Any other updates from?
Well, we did have an email from the Northwest Christian High School and Community Christian Academy. That's in Lacey, and they'll have a late start, 10 a.m. Today. And the high school will start at 10 a.m. also.
Okay.
So
we'll continue to update these throughout the morning here on KMAS as well. We'll look quickly at what the AP has been talking about, and then we'll give another weather forecast for you before we break in the next couple of moments. Interesting story this morning. The standard issue driver's licenses that we carry by most residents here in the great state still accepted at the airport, but that could change soon. News Tribune reports the Department of Homeland Security says it expects to release an announcement about changing air travel requirements. Washingtonians would get 120 days notice before the ruling required residents provide a passport or enhanced state ID to fly.
Interesting.
We'll have to get more IDs or something like that.
I guess so. And Joint Base Lewis McChord News, they're expected to cut about 900 civilian jobs over the next few years. The News Tribune reports the job reductions will be mostly accomplished by not filling openings and offering incentives for early retirement. Right now, the base has about 16,000 civilian workers.
Other side of the mountain, however, some big news from the Spokane Valley, seeing numbers of jobs since the Great Recession in areas that pay above average wages. The Spokesman Review reports that Spokane and nearby Pendorel, is that what it is? Stephanie had this the other day.
All right.
And she had to call somebody that works in that city, and she totally messed it up, just like I did. But I don't remember what it is. Do you remember what it is?
No, but I know that's not that.
That's not what I said. Stevens counties have added 8,800 jobs in the last 2 years. Most of the growth has been in professional business services, public and private education, health services, and leisure and hospitality. 6:19 here at KMAS. Westwood One will have an NFL Now segment here for you shortly. Some other news from around the Northwest, Carol?
Well, let's see. Officials in Vancouver, Washington, they're seeking community members to serve on 2 task forces that will be exploring options for new toll-free bridges across the Columbia River between Washington and Oregon. One group's going to explore options for a bridge between I-205 and Troutdale, Oregon. And the other group is going to work on some ideas for a bridge that will be located west of the Portland International Airport. So it says toll-free bridges. Are there toll bridges there already?
No, there are not already, but that's one of the things that they're trying to figure out, if that's how you want to pay for the bridge to people who use it on a daily basis, or people who use it whenever to use tolls.
Well, I mean, I don't like paying a toll going over a bridge, but you got to get there.
You got to get there.
So you're going to pay.
So,
right?
It's kind of the same when they were talking about the toll bridge near Mercer Island, right? So either everybody in the state pays, even the ones that don't have never even heard of Mercer Island. You know, you pay a penny here or there, or just the folks that use that. That's the kind of, you got to decide, it's either this one or that one. I think it's Ponderay. Ponderay.
That sounds much better.
I like what I said, though. Ponderay.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Cleveland Browns have fired both head coach Mike Pettin and general manager Ray Farmer after their loss to the Steelers. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam told reporters Sunday night that newly named executive VP Sashi Brown will be in charge of football operations and will have final say on the roster. In other NFL coaching news, the 49ers announced Sunday night that Jim Tomsula was fired after only one season as their head coach. The 49ers won their season finale against the Rams 19-16 in overtime to finish 5-11. The Carolina Panthers clinched the top seed in the NFC with a victory over the Bucs, while in Denver, Peyton Manning replaced Brock Osweiler in the third quarter to lead the Broncos to a win over the Chargers and the top seed in the AFC. With the most coverage possible, Hall of Fame analysis, and exclusive access 24/7, nobody does the playoffs like NFL Network. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Call Quicken Loans now to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN. Or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
I wish I could fall asleep. Jennifer had a stressful day, and now her mind is spinning at bedtime. I have a big day tomorrow. It's time for new Unisom Sleep Minis. The tiny capsules are non-habit forming and work fast. They're the little help busy people need to get a good night's sleep and wake recharged. Good night. New Unisom Sleep Minis. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
Hi everyone, this is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from Olympic Broadcasting. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? KMAS can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason, Thurston, Grace Harbor, King, Pierce, including Joint Base Lewis McChord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible, so how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at Olympic Broadcasting to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
You answered all your emails by noon. Get a freshly prepared Egg McMuffin. Actually left work on time? Then get yourself a savory sausage McMuffin with egg. You saw the weirdest midnight movie. Well, get a delicious sausage burrito. With McDonald's all-day breakfast menu, you can get delectable breakfast tastes anytime. Egg McMuffin, hotcakes and sausage and more. It's time to start enjoying the breakfast you love whenever you want. Just listen to a radio commercial, get some golden hash browns. McDonald's all-day breakfast menu varies by location.
This love letter's for my sweet beauty. Your scent drives me all sorts of cray. Every time you touch my lips, ooh, how it makes my day. Rich, smooth, fresh, and steamy. Dang, you're a dream. So let me give you some sugar, and then perhaps some cream. There's no denying your love for a rich, smooth, fresh brewed McCafe. And now, get any size for just $1. A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Hi, this is Will and Laura Farr from Fiddlefest, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at KMAS 624. And you may be waking up to see some snow in your area. The weather report and road conditions are forthcoming, and they're brought to you right now by Fred Holmes Tree Service.
Hazardous tree removal, threatening limbs. You can get those moved and removed with Fred Holmes Tree Service at fredholmestreeservice.com or give them a call at 427-4489. Debris removal, cleanup, whatever you need, call Fred Holmes Tree Service, 427-4489. Safe professional work, satisfaction guaranteed. Fred Holmes Tree Service. Check them out at fredholmestreeservice.com.
Good morning. I'm Carol Gardner with the weather. Right now, it's sort of a light snowy mist. The temperature is about 33 degrees. Later forecast today calls for more clouds, and it's going to turn into rain in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to stay steady in the mid-30s. And they say the snow accumulations is going to be less than 1 inch. So that's something to look forward to. Tonight, the low is going to be 33. It's going to be showers early, more clouds. Tomorrow, a high of 39. There's going to be rain all day. We should see some sun on Wednesday with a high of 44. And the rest of the week, it's going to be sunny, partly cloudy, with just about a 10% chance of rain. Daytime temps in the low 40s, overnight temps in the low 30s to high 20s. But right now, it's 33 degrees. We just have to get through this light snow mist throughout the rest of the day.
All right. Sounds good. 33. Again, thank you, Carol. And looking at any kind of emergency tweets from our Twitter here, you can follow us at 1030 KMAS on Twitter. And we have a bunch of lists that are public that you are able to follow along quickly, and it's got the different things like DOT or Mason County Sheriff or things like that. We're looking at emergency tweets this morning, not seeing anything locally currently, and that's great news. We'll continue to monitor that for sure. Carol, you had some updates on school conditions since the last time we talked.
I did. The Olympia School District schools and buses will be 2 hours late, and the buses are running on snow routes. So we do try to get this information as quick as possible out to you. You can find it on our website and the link to the flash alerts if you're not getting it on your phone, which a lot of people are these days. They're getting those alerts on their phone.
626 and Maryland Foster will have more information on school delays and closures, also recaps of interviews we had last week on Daybreak, including a video interview with Mike Olson. The new commission gets underway today, the 4th of January, really, and we celebrated the new year coming in Friday night. Did you have a good new year? It's been a while since we've talked.
I know, that seems like it was last year.
Good one. It does seem like it was last year. Did you stay up until midnight?
No, I couldn't make it up that far. So I watched on TV, the New Year's in New York City.
With Kathy and Anderson.
Yeah, just the very last part of it. I didn't really watch a lot of them. Just the countdown, basically, is what I watched. And that was good for me. I'm like, I've seen a few New Year's.
There's been enough in my day. We watched Kathy and Anderson Cooper. I mean, the classics.
Right.
They're so funny together. And I'm laughing every interaction they have. I'm on the couch just laughing. And my stepmom's the same way. My dad, for some reason, can't stand Kathy Griffin. I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. But they do a great job. Anyways, we ended up getting into the bed at the 8 minutes left before the 9 o'clock.
Oh, seriously? Why didn't you just wait that 8 minutes?
We should have waited because I lay down and I go, look at the clock. 8 minutes. Okay, I can make that. The next thing I know, and they're singing. So I missed the countdown. I missed everything.
Oh,
and then midnight comes around. Fireworks? Do you have any fireworks?
I heard a couple muted, but maybe because I was falling asleep, I didn't really pay much attention, but not anything spectacular or big that woke me up.
We had a couple, but Kaiser didn't wake up. Winston barked a little bit, but nothing too bad. And started the next day, the first Friday. Man.
Cold. Beautiful.
I came up with my goals, resolutions.
Oh, you
very
did?
Practical ones this year.
Do you want to share them?
I would love to share one that I've already broken.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it's to drink my daily amount of water.
Oh, not this again.
Now I'm going to be getting a new water bottle soon that will vibrate, light up, shock me if I'm not drinking enough water. And I think at this point, that's what I need.
That's true. And you know what? I actually brought this up over We can talk about it a little bit later. I mean, there is somebody in your corner in my family.
On how hard it is to drink water?
Yes.
Thank goodness. All you Gardner gals, you seem like you're all drinking water all day long. The other one not only benefits me, benefits the dogs. So we'll have that after this.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
Just imagine yourself in the driver's seat. New car smell, shiny dashboard, clean seats, features to make driving even more comfortable and enjoyable. Relax, take a big deep breath and make it yours. This is Doug Sample from Whitney's. We'll help you get that new vehicle. Upgrade, trade for a commuter car, or change in size to fit your family. We'll help you find the right vehicle at the right price.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Just down the road to Whitney's. Get ready. It's time to tee it up with Keith Jones.
Are you going to hit the shot that you need to hit? Or are you going to be trying something new just because it looks fancy? So one of, the basic truths, the self-evident truths that we have in the book is that you always choose functional over fancy.
Tee it up with Keith Jones.
All right.
6:34 on a Monday morning, and a good one to you. Jeff Slakey taking a look at sports here on Daybreak on KMAS. Game heard here yesterday. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes in a second quarter outburst, and the Seattle Seahawks emphatically snapped Arizona's 9-game win streak with a 36-6 rout of the Cardinals just yesterday. Excuse me. It was the same field where they lost that Super Bowl last February. Enough of that noise. Tyler Lockett set up 3 of Seattle's four first-half touchdowns, punt returns of 66 and 42 yards, and a 36-yard reception. It was a good-looking game. Hawks will play in Minnesota this weekend in the first round of the playoffs Sunday morning at 10:05. We start our coverage at 8. Other playoff games are on Saturday. Kansas City at Houston, then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Sunday's games, the morning game will be the Hawks, like I mentioned, then Green Bay at Washington. KMAS will air all the games this weekend. In college basketball, the Husky men beat SoCal 87-85, and the Cougs over at UCLA 85-78. And Saturday night, the Ole Town Artesians erased an 8-2 deficit in the third quarter and got to within a goal in the fourth, but couldn't close the deal. Fell 10-8 to Sporting Everett FC on a frigid Saturday night at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. After scoring just one goal in the first half, the Artesians exploded for 7 second-half goals, and the two teams combined to score 12 in the final 30 minutes, warming up the crowd, the coldest game in Whistle history. That's the Washington Indoor Soccer League, Carol. Whistle. It was so hard I could barely whistle. Temperature at the semi-indoor pavilion, that's a great way to put it, 38 degrees.
Wow, so you didn't have any, like, those little things you put in your mittens?
I needed some.
Boots.
My mouth, it was so hard to talk, to announce the goals and things. It was like the guy from Princess Bride. 6:36 now, and Carol with the weather.
Good morning, Jeff. Right now it's 33 degrees and it's sort of snowy outside. The forecast for today calls for rain and snow showers. This morning they'll be changing to rain this afternoon, and temperatures will stay about the mid-30s, and there's a chance of snow accumulations less than 1 inch. Tonight's low will be 33. Now, tomorrow we're going to have a high of 39. It's supposed to be just rain all day long, wash away all that snow, I guess, and then Wednesday we should see some sun with a high of 44, and the rest of the week sunny, partly cloudy, only about a 10% chance of rain. So daytime temps are going to be in the low 40s, sunny, and overnight temps will be in the low 30s to high 20s.
Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the southernmost tide pool of Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It is Daybreak. Thank you, Carol. At 6:38 here at KMAS, we'll be talking mostly about the weather conditions over the Northwest here. And we're checking on the Twitters and the Facebooks. We encourage you to post your comments about any kind of road conditions that you may have faced on your way in. Please, not while you're driving. Wait till you get to your destination and then let us know so we can pass things along on the Twitter. Carol, what are you reading these mornings?
Well, Northwest weather said, mix of rain and snow and possible freezing rain this morning. As you know, the temperatures do decrease right before sunrise. So that's the time that most people are out on the road and the weather actually gets the worst. So if you can avoid that time, that'd be great. But right now we don't have any major reports, but we might have a report coming up.
Hold on. Here we go.
Right,
Jerry, good morning and Happy New Year. What's going on, Jerry? Happy New Year.
Just call me Nana.
It is cold out there.
It is cold out there. Road conditions, of course, I was watching and listening, and I'm hearing all these horror stories, and boy, I get out on the road and it's not it's not icy or anything, it's wet. But going up Purdy Canyon, and as you got up on the plateau, then you got snow. It was snowing, and there was a skiff of snow on the road, but combined with the water and made it kind of slickery.
It's 33 now. Not going to be sunrise until 8 o'clock this morning. So we have another hour and a half of it to get even colder and colder and ice up a little bit.
Oh, right. Yeah. And that's a point, that it's all wet, but should it get colder, then everything's wet. The roads in and the ramps off the highway were covered with snow and not just a light dusting, but it's that wet that's underneath it that makes it slick. And the city streets are slick, especially if you're walking.
Yeah, for sure, if you're out there walking. We looked at some photos of I-5 near the 101 interchange. Looked bare and wet this morning on the highways. There's plenty of traffic, so it doesn't get too bad.
Right, they get speed off, but we don't,
No,
especially
not
when
at
you
all.
take one of the off ramps. And I took the one there for the Matlock City Center exit, and that was not well traveled.
No, it wasn't. Nor was ours the same way, but coming from the south.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jerry. If you hear any more out there, come in and let us know.
I will. When I walk over to the post office, I'll give you a foot report.
Yeah, please do. 641 here at KMAS and KMAS.com. So those are some of the latest road conditions that we're seeing and hearing about locally. If you've got them, again, please check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/1030 KMAS. And we also have the flash alerts at the top of our KMAS.com. Carol, please tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, we have the Evergreen Christian School, the Olympia is 2 hours late. And we have Olympia Waldorf School 2 hours late. So what we do is we get these flash alerts that come in, and then we are manually posting them on our website right now, but hopefully they will be automatic. But you can find them yourself with the link that we have on our website, or you'll be getting them on your phones, which will tell you that which schools are late or which schools are closing. And it changes. It's constantly changing once they go out and check out the roads and go, oh, maybe we need to actually do snow routes, or maybe we do need to do 2 hours later. So those are constantly updating.
One update that we do have is that the Olympia School District changed from buses normal routes to now buses are running on snow routes and no morning preschool. That's with the Olympia School District. We'll continue to update you on all of these conditions throughout the morning here at KMAS. 6:42 now, and good morning to you. Also, we'll live the country life here shortly, just a couple moments from right now. And throughout the rest of the week, we've got Lynn Longan coming in today, just after the 8:30 news this morning, and regular guests as well throughout the day. We're seeing a lot of pictures of cars that are unfortunately stuck outside during the overnight, then are just covered in the water, and then boom, frozen, and that takes a long time to warm those cars up. So if you have the opportunity, and then again, you have to remember in these situations, there are the opportunities for the ne'er-do-wells, Carol, and if you're out there warming up your car, but you leave your car running and warming, it's unfortunately for some folks an invitation.
Yeah, that always amazes me, especially on a really bad day that somebody's anytime it's a terrible thing, but especially on a really bad day, you're warming up your car and
you go inside to get another cup of coffee or something, and you hear something, you go, oh, just a car driver.
Unless you have one of those new cars that you use your finger or something to...
Well, they have remote start options.
Yeah,
and I think you can remote start and keep the door locked. That'd be the best.
Or if you have 2 keys.
If you have 2 keys.
Yeah.
That's another good idea. I get so nervous whenever I have to leave the car and it's running in any aspect, even if I'm going to leave the door open and I need to go check on something.
Exactly.
You just are so nervous just in case things, you don't want to get locked in, and then people may, unfortunately... Oh, okay. Where people can, come and take your car, and the next thing you know, bad day. Starts the new year off bad. 6:44 here at KMAS. KMAS News at KMAS.com.
Yes.
It's a great email address.
It is a great email
And that is the
address.
email address that we would like to remind school officials. And that's where you can send your school closure info. If it's not up on those flash alerts, we do most often get those, but we did get the Mason County Christian School to the school delay list, looking for that 2-hour delay from Sharon Murphy, the school coordinator there. 6:45, we'll take a break here and live the country life in just a moment on KMAS. When we come back, we'll talk more about the new year, the celebrations that were, and some big things that are happening around these parts here on KMAS. At 6:45, a good morning to you.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Livestock producers have to manage over 1 billion tons of manure every year. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. It's a valuable resource, and you're being asked to help find new ideas to use it as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Read Living the Country Life magazine on your computer and mobile devices. Each issue features great stories, how-to help, reader tips, and recipes, as well as beautiful photos to spark new ideas for your place in the country. All the stories and features you love about Living the Country Life magazine are right at your fingertips. Anywhere, any way you want them. Visit nextissue.com or zenio.com to subscribe. There's no limit to how many times you can enjoy your digital editions of Living the Country Life.
Need new ideas for what to do around your place? Register for a free Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips on key topics such as landscaping, animals and poultry, outdoor improvement projects, recreational activities, and much more. The newsletter delivers the latest trends, alerts you to informational courses, shares what other people are doing on their properties, and provides details about exciting sweepstakes and other contests. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
Livestock manure is a valuable resource for adding nutrients to the soil. There's an effort underway to find even more benefits. The Environmental Protection Agency is searching for ideas to take nutrients from livestock manure, especially nitrogen and phosphorus, and create new valuable products. Ron Carlton is counselor to the Administrator for Agricultural Policy. He says the initiative is called the Nutrient Recycling Challenge, and they're asking everyone to participate.
What we hope will come from this challenge is that the innovators will get together and with our ag producers and others and develop some new technologies that will eventually recover and recycle nutrients, perhaps make it easier for farmers to either use on site to transport, which is not easy to do today, or to sell as other marketable projects that will generate more revenue for the farmer, but also hopefully help with addressing some of the water quality issues we have with manure as well.
There are 4 phases to the program, and Carlton says the first one is already underway.
The first deadline, as it stands now, for the receipt of concept papers is mid-January of 2016. But there'll still be opportunities really throughout this process to have input, to connect with innovators and entrepreneurs. We'll have hopefully designs in by sometime in late spring of 2016. Hopefully we'll have some prototypes developed in the summer of 2016. And we'd like to have pilot projects out the summer or spring of 2017.
Carlton says they're offering cash prizes and other awards through each phase of the program. You'll find details, deadlines, and dates for the Nutrient Recycling Challenge at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
The Chad Benson Show.
But you can't attack Trump and not expect to get hammered. And where the Republicans are missing this is he is paving the way to victory if they would just listen. He's giving them a rule book on how to play the media and, most importantly, how to handle crisis.
The Chad Benson Show.
Hi, this is Chad Benson. Please check out my show this afternoon from 3 to 6 on KMAS News Radio.
We're the Crime Valley Band. We're the Select Sisters. And you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale at KMAS.
6:50 here at Daybreak, and a good morning to you. It's the 4th of January, first show of the new year, and it is messy out there, Carol.
It is messy out there. There's some rain and snow coming down. It's going to be that way for the next couple of hours. It's 33 degrees. It's going to get a little cooler towards sunset. Those are things that you just have to watch out for. When Jeff and I drove in this morning, it was rainy, snowy, rainy and snowy.
It started snowing around Taylortown.
Yeah, around Taylortown, and the roads became covered.
Yeah.
And so it was, you just have to watch how you drive. And then coming into town, we put a little video on Facebook about getting off the ramp right from going 101 north down onto Railroad City Center exit. And it could be yucky if you were going too fast. Sure. or what have you. Sort of a slushy type of a deal. And then Jerry drove in from 101 north, and she said it wasn't too bad coming in. And then once she hit Pretty Canyon and then the plateau, it just snow was accumulating. So those are things that you just have to watch out for.
I'm looking at some photos on the DOT's traffic cams, and there's not a lot in our area. There's one at US 101 at Oyster Bay Road. It's hard to even kind of make out what's happening, but it looks as if there is snow on either side of the roads, and it kind of looks like the roadways have been plowed a little. So be cautious, and things are starting to slow down a little bit north of Lacey on the way to DuPont. The roads on I-5 look bare but wet. It's 33 now, and we're still not an hour away from sunrise.
Right.
So the temperature is likely to drop even further over the next little bit here. It's 6:51 at KMAS, and we've got the complete list of school delays that are ongoing now at KMAS.com. Click on that alert tab right at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to the link to have all the lists for you. Also, we are contacting and talking with folks over Facebook this morning at facebook.com/1030KMAS. You can share with us your road conditions coming into town, photos from your neighborhood as well. It'd be fun to see how you are waking up this morning with any kind of snow or wintry conditions here on the 4th day of January already. It's 6:52. The AP will have some news coming up here shortly, but we are talking about mostly stories regarding the weather here on KMAS.
Well, I don't know. I think we should continue our earlier conversation. We were going to talk about your New Year's resolutions, but before you started, I wanted to bring up, this happened a little bit earlier during some of the Christmas stuff that was happening with my family. I was talking to one of my nieces about how a coworker needed a bottle of water to tell him when to, with a computer alert on it, tell him when to drink. And she said, well, she goes, that could be useful for me too. And I said, well, how so? And she said, because she's a nurse and she's running around all the time.
Oh.
And she has a hard time remembering to go get her water, but also she has to do a little more things to go actually get her water. So if she's working somewhere, she has to go through the whole cleanup thing and then go get her water and then go back through the whole cleanup thing. I mean, it's very different, but she said that an alarm might be a good thing for her, so it would remind her that she needed to go do that.
So this is what I found, Stephanie and I found, was a Kickstarter campaign, and that's those websites where you find a product that somebody goes, oh, got $1 million invention.
Right.
And you say, oh, I like that. I could use that. So you back it. So we backed these water bottles that are very fancy looking, and they're plastic, and they have a built-in light. There's a light in there, and I think it vibrates as well. And there's also a sensor out of the mouth ring. So you go to your app, and you type in your height, weight, whatever. It says you need to be drinking this much water every day. And I am woefully short. It's some 60 ounces. Half your body weight times 2. Is that what they say? Something like that?
Yes.
And so about 60 ounces, although I think it's a little bit more these days after the holidays. And so
and salt and that kind of stuff.
So I start to drink, and then I totally forget. Well, this water bottle will light up. I'll get a note on my phone, whatever. Start drinking your water. And I just think there's so many other distractions, you just forget.
Well, that is probably true. You probably
don't
forget.
have any problems with that, though. You're always drinking water.
I suppose it's because it's become a habit for me. It already became a habit. I have water bottles sitting here, sitting there, and I have glasses of water. I just leave water out. I don't always finish water,
Sure.
but there's always water for me to grab. I mean, it almost seems like if there's water sitting there, it's easier to drink than having to go turn on the faucet,
So you
which is
just
only
put it-
3 or more steps.
Put it in, see, it's all about the convenience.
It is about the convenience.
What's interesting about this water bottle is when you drink the water, it will, in real time, tell you how much ounces you've had. So you know how close you are. So that was one of my main...
But that's only if you drink out of that water bottle.
Well, sure. I just got to carry that around. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen because it's so cool. Everybody wants one. So that was my main, drink my daily amount of water. It's already the 4th. I don't think I've had any water since January 1. So my other one, though, is to take the dogs on an evening walk every night.
Okay.
And I pick, of course, the worst time of the year to do this. It's 19 outside in the evening.
Right.
But I think, it's helpful for them, kind of calms them down, get me out there for my last 10,000 steps or whatever you need.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so you were walking your dogs in the morning already.
Every morning.
And you decided to add the evening or to substitute the evening?
To add an evening walk.
Okay, so you're going to be doing it twice a day, which is great for the dogs.
That's what the plan is. We'll see how it hangs out later in the year. My other one?
And why did you decide to do that? Because you didn't feel like you were getting enough exercise or the dogs weren't getting enough exercise?
Both. More
Okay.
so the dogs.
More so the dogs.
More so the dogs and their energy level. Plus it gets them out, go their last bathroom break before the evening,
Mhm.
stuff like that. My next one, my other one, and we talked about this before off the air, less analysis paralysis when making decisions. We are so inundated with information these days that you go, oh, I need to get a new blank toothbrush. Why not? I need to get a new toothbrush. And I will spend a week researching stupid toothbrushes. And I know there are different types and bristles and this and that. When I could have just gone, all right, I need to get a new toothbrush. Boom, you get the new toothbrush. Instead of worrying about it, thinking about it.
Paralysis analysis.
It's a big problem these days that people have. You just are constantly thinking. And you don't make a decision.
Sort of goes along with the one that I've decided to follow through.
You're
this
listening
year.
to Daybreak
that after the
with
break.
Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks plunging as traders fret about China's economy after some weaker than expected manufacturing data there caused a 7% drop in mainland Chinese stocks. Trading was halted before the conclusion of the session. Also adding to woes, heightened tensions in the Middle East between Saudi Arabia and Iran. The Dow's down 377 points. The Nasdaq lower by 123. Bexalta and Symphogen will be teaming up to work on a $1.6 billion collaboration on treatments for cancer. Under the deal, Bexalta will pay Symphogen $175 million for the exclusive rights to develop and market new drugs after phase 1 trials. Also working together, General Motors and ride-hailing company Lyft. GM is investing $500 million in the company
company as part of a $1 billion round of fundraising. Chris Maurer, CNBC.
Sometimes being a genius would really come in handy. Karen, final question. You'll either walk out of here with $1 million or nothing. In what year did the Hicksonian astrophysical capital city fourth president invented? You have 5 seconds. But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes, because TurboTax helps turn complicated questions into simple ones that you can answer. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Tom Hartman is live and waiting for your call from 9 to noon weekdays on KMAS Shelton, AM 1030, FM 103.3, and KMAS.com.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. President Obama is ready to pull the trigger on gun control. Aides say he's meeting with top legal aides at the White House today before making moves, including expanding registration requirements for gun show sellers. ABC's Mary Bruce has details.
President Obama will announce new executive actions to tighten the nation's gun rules on Tuesday, ABC News has confirmed, saying it's an issue he cannot ignore. The president is expected to outline unilateral action aimed at narrowing the so-called gun show loophole. The president is going it alone because he says Congress has failed to address the growing problem of gun violence. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Washington.
It's already a queasy day for investors on Wall Street. The Dow dropped about 350 points in the opening minutes. This in the wake of a 7% free fall in China's market, followed by tumbles in European markets. It all began with weak manufacturing numbers in China. The saga of the Texas affluenza teen and his mom continues. Ethan Couch is fighting extradition from Mexico, but ABC's Matt Gutman tells us his mother, Tanya, has a court date this week in L.A.
Tuesday's a big day for the Couch as Tanya Couch has that extradition hearing in Los Angeles. It is unlikely, her attorneys tell me, that she is going to fight it. She will get sent back for her day in court in Texas. Ethan Couch has a big decision to make whether or not he wants to continue to fight deportation in Mexico or be sent back to face the music in Texas. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Houston.
GM and Lyft are joining forces to beat their rivals in the race to get self-driving cars off the starting line. GM gets access to Lyft's software that matches drivers and automates payments. Lyft gets GM's experience in connected cars. In the long run, the companies plan to develop a fleet of autonomous vehicles that can be summoned with Lyft's software. Legendary cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond, best known for The Deer Hunter and Close Encounters, has died at his home in Big Sur at 85. His signature was his preference for natural light. This is ABC News.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Call Quicken Loans now to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Welcome to the 474 at Fridays. Welcome to $4 appetizers, to sharing with the table. Welcome to $7 entrees, to not ordering the usual. Trying something new. Welcome to $4 desserts, to actually having room for dessert. Welcome to lower prices and portions that are just right. Welcome to the 474. Apps and desserts starting at $4, entree starting at $7. The 474, the new menu, only at TGI Fridays. At participating restaurants, prices apply to just right portions only.
Tensions are escalating between Iran and Saudi Arabia. They have severed ties after the Saudis executed a prominent Shiite cleric. More from ABC's Martha Raddatz.
The Saudis and Iranians were already bitter rivals, but there were hopes the two nations would come together to help end the conflicts in Syria and Yemen. But that looks far less likely now because of this execution. The cleric, whose name is Nimr al-Nimr, was part of a mass execution in Saudi Arabia. 47 men executed. Most of those killed said to be members of al-Qaeda. But the cleric's only crime, says Iran, was calling for the overthrow of the Saudi royal family for mistreating Shiites. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.
Ellen DeGeneres is paying it forward. She's been given the Favorite Humanitarian Award in the People's Choice Awards. It comes with a $200,000 donation from Walgreens, which DeGeneres is giving to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Hi, Tom Hartman here. Join me 9 to noon on News Radio 1030 KMAS. This is not an election cycle where middle-of-the-road Democrats are going to stir up enough of the base, enough excitement and enthusiasm. They're going to seriously win elections. And that's the thing that Republicans have figured out, Democrats have yet to learn, which is that elections are not about swaying so-called undecided voters. They're about stirring up the base. The base will bring the undecided voters along with them. They'll do it through social media. They'll do it through talking to their neighbors. They'll do it by talking to people in the workplace. But you've got to energize the base. Hi, Tom Hartman here. Join me 9 to noon on News Radio 1030 KMAS. Eventually, something is going to break through all the lies and all the hundreds of millions of dollars the Koch Industries, ExxonMobil, and others have spent funding climate change deniers. Eventually, it's going to break through, and people are going to realize that for the last 40 years, they have been lied to by very wealthy people who are lying to us and allowing people to die just so they can protect their wealth. Not even protect their existing wealth, just so they can make more wealth.
The Minnesota Vikings claim a seat in the playoffs. Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Vikings win the NFC North for the first time since 2009. After a 2013 win over the Green Bay Packers, they advance to the playoffs, facing the Seattle Seahawks next week.
Teddy shotgun. On third down, he has Adrian by his side. He'll give it to Adrian, who sprints up the middle, lowers the head. Second effort to the goal line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Paul Allen with a call on KFAN as Adrian Peterson runs 3 yards for a touchdown. The Cleveland Browns fire head coach Mike Pettin and general manager Ray Farmer. Many are confused as to why the higher-ups have decided to hire a new coach before finding a GM. Owner Jimmy Haslam explains.
Sashi Brown's job is Executive Vice President of Football Operations. He will have the ultimate say on the roster. So if you think about it, we just think this makes more sense to hire the head coach first, and then second to hire the talent acquisition or the general manager.
And the San Francisco 49ers get rid of rookie coach Jim Tomsula after a 5-11 season. On the court.
20 on the shot clock. Moore circle right to Gasol. In the right corner, the Butler works on to Morris Carroll. Here is Butler jumper. Got it! Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
Jimmy Butler hits the go-ahead three to give the Chicago Bulls a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Bulls went on to defeat the Toronto Raptors 115-113. Butler scored a franchise record 40 points in the second half, breaking Michael Jordan's record of 39. In the NHL.
Goligoski, top of the left circle with 10. Center point for Klingberg. No, broken up by Clutterbuck. Calvin Nahan got it back to center. Klingberg on it there with 5 seconds on the Islander logo. One last shot wide left of the net, and the Islanders hang on and beat the best team in the NHL, the Dallas Stars, by the final score of 6-5.
Chris King with the call on WRHU-FM. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Well, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at 7:10 at KMAS News Radio. We'll update you on the weather conditions, road, and school delays in just a little bit. Here was one of the final big plays of the game last night.
Stanton takes a shotgun snap. Three-man rush. Has time. Throws to the end zone. Ball is picked off at the goal line. Coming near side. It's Shed. He's coming down the sidelines. He is hit and dropped at the 40. Arizona fights his way down the field. They throw to the end zone. And at the goal line, Deshaun Shed makes the interception, brings it all the way out to the 40-yard line where Bobby Massey runs him out of bounds in front of the Arizona bench. Seattle can do no wrong today.
Wow, that is right. Thank you to Steve Rabel on the call there. Earlier in the game, Russell Wilson breaking records.
Wilson out of the shotgun with a slot to his left. Takes the snap, good protection, has time, dumps it over the middle. Wide open is Kaufman. He makes the catch down to the 15 and is knocked down right there at the 15. He needed to get to the 14 for a first down. And so the field goal team comes on. Russell Wilson now has set a new franchise record as he has gone over 4,000 yards on this year. That's the first time in franchise history a quarterback has thrown for 4,000 yards, and Russell Wilson has done it.
Wow, impressive to say the least. 36-6, the final score there. Hawks will play in Minnesota this weekend in the first round of the playoffs. It's the Wild Cards. Sunday morning at 10:05 kickoff. We start our coverage at 8. The other playoff games over the weekend are on Saturday, Kansas City at Houston, then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Sunday, the morning game is the Hawks, like I mentioned. Then just after that, we'll have Green Bay at Washington. We'll air all the games this weekend, and in college basketball, the Husky men beat Southern Cal 87-85, and the Cougs over UCLA in men's basketball 85-78. Final score at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College for Ole Town Artesians sporting Everett FC. It was 10-8. It was a lot of fun, and it was 38 degrees at first kick. That was Saturday night, though. What's it right now? Let's check. Here's Carol with the weather.
Well, Jeff, right now it's 33, and it's sort of a rainy, snowy mist outside, which will change to just rain showers for the afternoon hours. Temperatures will stay about the mid-30s, and there is a chance of a snow accumulation for less than 1 inch. It keeps going back and forth, so I'm gathering that it depends where you're at, if you're actually going to get some of that snow.
Okay.
Tonight, the low is going to be just about 33, so it's not going to really change much. And then tomorrow, we're going to go up to about 39, and it's just going to rain all day. Wednesday, we are going to see some sun with a high of 44, and the rest of the week, some sunny, partly cloudy, and only about 10% chance of rain. So daytime temps are going to be in the low 40s, and overnight temps, we're going to stay in the low 30s to high 20s.
So winter.
It's Daybreak
January.
with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the artesian waters of South Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Well, good Monday to you. It's 7:14 here at KMAS. Lynn Longin in about an hour and a half to talk about the economic development of Mason County and the surrounding areas. We're looking at stories from around the AP, and not much new since our last check. However, the weather is definitely the big story of the day, Carol.
Yep, and I just wanted to mention the Olympic College just came up on our flash alerts. It's going to be 2 hours late. The Shelton campus late start opening at 10 a.m. Bremerton, Paulsville campuses remain open also.
All right, so the Shelton campuses are going to be at 10 o'clock, Olympic College. All right, very good. That list is available at KMAS.com, right along the top of the front page there at KMAS. And you see, what's it say, flash alerts or something like that? You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. So just scroll down and you can see what's going on with all the different school districts. We have the Thurston County, Mason County, some of the colleges, some of the private schools, Christian schools, and some organizations. So you can check those out and follow along with us as we get that information.
7:15, we'll go through quickly over that list right after this message from Fred Holmes Tree Service.
Hazardous tree removal, threatening limbs. You can get those moved and removed with Fred Holmes Tree Service at fredholmestreeservice.com, or give them a call at 427-4489. Debris removal, cleanup, whatever you need, call Fred Holmes Tree Service, 427-4489. Safe professional work, satisfaction guaranteed. Fred Holmes Tree Service. Check them out at fredholmestreeservice.com.
7:16 at KMAS and KMAS.com. We look at the schools around the area that are delayed or closed. The full list under KMAS.com. Griffin, 2 hours late. North Thurston, most of these schools are 2 hours late today. North Thurston, Olympia, school and buses 2 hours late. Buses are running on the snow routes. Rainier, Tumwater, and Yelm Community Schools 2 hours late. Kitsap and Mason County Schools, the Hood Canal School District, Pioneer, Shelton, and Southside are all 2 hours late. Evergreen Christian School in Olympia, 2 hours late. Pope John Paul II High School as well. Mason County Christian School, 2 hour delay. South Sound YMCA Child Care Services, 2 hours late for Yelm programs only. And the Squaxin Island Tribe is 2 hours late, the delay due to inclement weather here. Also, make note that the emergency cold weather shelter will continue to be open, as it's going to be pretty chilly again tonight during the overnight and moving into the rest of the week. Although clear skies, as Carol was mentioning, the conditions will be very chilly. So that is the emergency cold weather shelter from Community Lifeline on 218 North 3rd Street, formerly St. David's Parish Hall.
That's true. And I want to make a note that there's no AM preschool at Hood Canal, Pioneer, or Shelton school districts.
All right. Thank you, Carol. Again, these lists are at KMAS.com this morning. And a good morning to you. The last time we met, Carol, was on Thursday, of way back in 2015. And good weekend for you. You have a nice weekend?
I did have a great weekend. It was just beautiful weather. I got outside, took some pictures of the frozen tundra.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, it was just now it's going to be completely different, but the frost was just building and building and building. I mean, it was just getting so thick. It was just beautiful, all the designs. And
your neighborhood especially is very wooded and very hard to get, very hard to get any sunlight.
True.
Our neighborhood, half of the street side looks nice, clear, whatever. The other side looks like it hasn't seen daylight in 3 months. It's pretty messy. Trooper Wright for the Washington State Patrol, number 6. PIO. Trooper Wright works in the 6th district anyways. Up in the 6th district, they've responded to over 200 reports of collisions already for the new year.
Wow.
And that's just 4 days young. We'll continue to look at the Twitter at 1030 KMAS, Facebook.com/1030 KMAS. Please let us know once you get to your safe destination how the roads were so we can recap, folks. We're hearing reports that the Purdy Canyon and the Plateau is pretty messy. The ramps, which are starting to get a little more use, have been covered with the wet snow, and it's 33 right now, so that stuff's going to freeze over a little bit this morning as we're still 45 minutes away from the sunrise. And also parts of I-5 around the Olympia area appear to be bare and wet when I'm looking at the traffic cam photos, but still you got to be very cautious when you're out there on the roadways. 7:19, we'll take a break. We come back, we'll recap you on some other news notes from around the Northwest and talk about some other things, including other goals, resolutions, what we're looking ahead to in the year 2016. And I'm interested to find out just how well Star Wars did at the box office over the weekend.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Hi guys, Kat here with KMAS News Radio 1033. I wanted to let you in on a pretty cool little secret. Advertising with KMAS works. As your friendly KMAS sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. Shelton has a lot of great businesses with even better services or products, and my goal is to get everyone to notice your business. For me, advertising isn't just about making your business money, but seeing your business continue to grow by building you a strong customer base. And with thousands of listeners each week, KMAS can do that for you and your business. With the choice to advertise on air or on our website at KMAS.com, KMAS News Radio has the advertising your business needs. In this day and age, print media just doesn't have the power it used to. So come see me at the KMAS radio station and let's get you started on an advertising campaign that literally speaks to the community.
Hi, this is Alex Jones on KMAS News Radio. I live a cloak and dagger life, and I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not looking for revolution. I just want my republic back. I want my Bill of Rights back. I want due process back. I don't want special interest signing us on to tens of trillions of dollars that aren't our debt and sinking the republic. And there's all these enemy programs trying to misrepresent who we are and what we say because the government listens to us. Good people in the military, in the Congress, in the state houses.
What's a lever action? What's a pump? What's an automatic? What's a bolt action? How do these things work? What's a magazine? What are all these terms everybody's using? Hi, folks. I'm Tom Gresham, and I invite you to join me as we answer these and other questions on Gun Talk. Gun Talk is the only show out there about gun rights, collecting, personal defense, sport, and recreational shooting. And of course, we never forget about safety on Gun Talk.
Sundays, noon to 3 on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hi, this is Seattle Mariners broadcaster Dave Valley, and you are listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right, good morning to you. Daybreak here, KMAS, KMAS.com. It's 7:24 here this morning, and it has been really snowy, and I think a lot of people wanted to get out and see, get out of the house and see something different. I don't know. What do you think, Carol? Checking out the box office here. Do you think Star Wars did continue to do well?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Are you having a hard time hearing me?
I can't hear you at all. I mean, I can hear you, but
not in your headphones.
Not in my headphones.
That's interesting. All right,
I'm not sure.
Well, let's find out. Jason Nathanson is in Hollywood, and he has this report for us.
I was ready to do one thing. And that one thing is to break box office records. Star Wars The Force Awakens passed the $700 million mark in the U.S. over the weekend, the fastest film to hit that milestone. Its estimated $88.3 million take is the best third weekend in history, and when the final numbers are in, it might climb to the best weekend ever in January. It should overtake Avatar as the top-grossing U.S. film ever any day now. In second over the weekend was the comedy Daddy's Home. Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight finished third. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Thanks, Jason. And yeah, Star Wars continues to roll, and no spoilers for you this morning, Carol. You still haven't seen it.
That's true. I have not.
But it is a great movie if you have the opportunity to do so. And a lot of other ones look pretty good. That Hateful Eight, very reminiscent to what we were dealing with all the snow. They're set in the snow in the mountains with Kurt Russell's got that great big mustache and Samuel L. Jackson. Looks like a fantastic movie. I saw on the internet a report that so it's filmed in 70 millimeter Panavision, and there's an intermission, and there's an orchestral interlude, and it's like going to an old movie again. They have, I think, probably the main score at the beginning, and they have all the credits at the beginning. There's an actual intermission in the film, and I guess at some AMC theaters, the film caught on fire.
Seriously?
And there was a couple of incidents I saw on the internet where at least one theater where the screening of the Hateful Eight, the 70 millimeter, caught on fire. Pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting.
So
I guess people aren't used to using those old.
No, they don't.
Old finagled.
Turn on the old projector films.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting stuff. 7:25 here at KMAS and KMAS.com. Checking the roadways on I-5 as people are starting to make their way out there on the world. This morning looks still bare and wet on I-5 around the 101 interchange, though still 33, Carol. It looks like you were mentioning maybe just some rain off and on throughout the day. Is all this going to go away?
Well, they say the forecast calls for sort of this snow-rain mix through these next few hours, through the morning rush hour, which is happening right now, and then it will turn to rain this afternoon. So it'll be just rain this afternoon, and then tomorrow they're calling for all rain all day. So it should wash it out, if not today, by tomorrow.
Terry from the Senior Center gave us a call. They're going to be opening late today, 10 o'clock. They usually follow the same as the school district, Shelton School District.
Okay.
So they're opening at 10 o'clock today, the Senior Center opening late. Listen to some of these drive times up in the north of Washington. Everett to Seattle, 70 minutes this morning. Federal Way to Bellevue, 80 minutes. Oh, my goodness. So we talk a lot about the roadways here, but at least we're not stuck in a ton of traffic like folks are up on I-5 and around the Seattle area. But please be cautious when you're out there driving early this morning. Now, as I see some better photos of US 101 at the Oyster Bay Road, it's our only traffic cam around these parts between here and Olympia. It looks a definite reflection off the roadways from the car headlights that are coming, but the roads appear to be passable and open. But please drive cautious. It was pretty snowy when we were making our way in. Carol and I drove in together, and it was at about 5 o'clock, and we came into town. And the main drag railroad was pretty good. And you turn the corner on to the off roads, and it is a little more treacherous because they just haven't been driven on.
That's true.
So that's what's going on there. 7:28. We've also kind of been talking about resolutions and goals from the morning. I mentioned mine was more water, walking the dogs, less analysis paralysis. And Carol, what about you? What are you looking at? Or did you find something on this analysis paralysis thing?
Well, I sort of have I guess I wasn't calling it analysis paralysis, but it's sort of the same. It's more, I was calling it using my intuition, but making a decision based on, intuition isn't based on, nothing.
Sure.
It's stuff that you've already noticed, and then you make a decision. You're not quite sure how you did it. It's not like you don't become a star overnight. Everybody thinks there's these overnight sensations, but actually these people have worked their way up to it. It's sort of the same concept. You've seen things around you, you've noticed things, you've put them into your experience, and then something happens, and that's when your intuition kicks in.
Very similar to the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, that's very true. So the whole idea of analysis paralysis is sort of the same thing. I mean, if you don't use your intuition and follow it, you don't trust it.
Sure.
And it's the same thing as analysis paralysis. You're not trusting your decision you're afraid that some other decision might be better.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with this. With the advent of the internet, there's just so much information at the palm of my hand.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. I can always find something that's one better.
Right.
Boy, it's going to be a tough one, but a beneficial one. I think everybody should look into this.
I totally agree. The paradox of choice.
Less trust on your smartphones, more trust on your gut again.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done. And your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
This is Men's Health Live from Men's Health Magazine.
We have, for instance, this thing called the Works semi-auto driver. That's actually a screwdriver, which doesn't sound very exciting, but it's designed with a rotating cartridge of bits so that you sort of cock it back like a gun and it'll change the bits. Here, maybe you can hear it.
Men's Health Live, the radio show that's full of tons of useful stuff from the biggest and best-selling men's lifestyle magazine in the world, Men's Health.
Wide to the far side is Curse. Baldwin slots along with Lockett to the near side. Russell looks. He looks to Curse's side. Curse has got a little room. He makes the catch. He is in. Touchdown, Seahawks. From 24 yards out, a perfect rainbow drops into the arms of Jermaine Curse. And the former Husky scores, and the Seahawks pounding the Cardinals now 30-6 here in the first half.
Wow, what a game yesterday. Good morning to you. Jeff Slakey taking a look at sports here on KMAS. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes. That was the third you just heard. Second quarter outburst, the Seahawks emphatically snapped Arizona's 9-game winning streak 36-6. That rout against Arizona yesterday. It was the same field where they lost the suit. I was reminiscent. Carol, did you get a chance to listen to the game or see any of it on the television? And they were there, and they had the ball, the one, and they ran it in for the touchdown, I believe. It was the one. It was the play where Russell had slid the play before, and the umpire said, "No, you didn't make it over the line."
Right.
And it was just so reminiscent. But this time they ran it. And they made it.
Yeah, they weren't going to throw that again.
No, it was 36-6 yesterday. Hawks will play in Minnesota this weekend in the first round of the playoffs Sunday morning. Sunday morning at 10. We'll start our coverage at 8. The other playoff games are 2 on Saturday. First is Kansas City at Houston, then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Then on Sunday, the morning game, like I mentioned, Hawks and Minnesota. Then Green Bay at Washington. KMAS will air all the games this weekend. In college basketball, the Husky men beat Southern Cal 87-85, and the Cougs over UCLA 85-78. Final score at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College Saturday night. It was chilly, 38 degrees at first kick. By the time the final horn sounded, Sporting Everett FC beats Old A Town 10-8. But there were 7 second-half goals, and 2 teams combined to score 12 goals in the final 30 minutes of play. It's a lot of fun, and we'll do it again this Saturday night, taking on Bellingham United. They're coming to the Pavilion. We would love to see you there. I do the PA announcing for that. So Old Town FC is the website if you want more information on that. Cold on Saturday night and cold to start the week. Here's Carol with the weather.
Good morning, Jeff. Right now it's about 33 degrees out. I actually should have ran outside and checked out to see if there was still some snow or rain coming down. But
out there, do a report from out there.
Well, that's where most of them do them from.
I know.
They brave the weather. So there will be some rain and snow mix coming down, and it will be turning to rain showers just in the afternoon hours. Temperatures will stay about the mid-30s. Depending where you're at, you may have a chance of snow accumulations less than 1 inch. But basically, it's going to be cloudy with occasional rain showers. Tonight, the low will be 33, so it's not going to change much from right now. Tomorrow is going to be a high of 39 with just rain all day long. Wednesday, we're going to see some sun with a high of 44. And the rest of the week, we're going to see some sun. It's going to be partly cloudy. There's only going to be about a 10% chance of rain. The temps are going to be in the low 40s during the days and then in the low 30s to high 20s in the evening. So there you have it.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email, or Facebook. Now, from where I-5 takes a sharp left toward Portland, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. 7:39 here at KMAS, and the Twitter is starting to make some noise.
If you have it to a noise volume.
Doesn't it tweet every time?
It might if you have it set that way. But we got a little tweet from the Mason County Sheriff that says there are a few crashes on the side roads this morning, but most of the main roads are just wet. Drive carefully and arrive safe.
Okay.
Which is, good news.
Good news for sure. Very interesting. Okay, we saw a couple cars on the sides of the roads on our way in. That didn't seem too bad, though. 33 right now. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak at KMAS. In a few moments, we'll have a story for you out of Pennsylvania, where the weather also has been quite inclement, and some parents are getting into a little trouble this morning, the way they've, I don't want to say took care of their kids, but in the sense, the way they took care of their kids. Is there anything else locally we would like to update folks on shortly?
I was trying to get some information up at Lake Cushman. I, for some reason, can't seem to find it right now.
Well, we'll have this other story for you then. Coming out of Pennsylvania, 3 kids were left in a car as parents were in a casino. Tell me more.
Yeah, so police in New Jersey say a New Jersey couple left 3 young kids in a cold SUV for nearly 2 hours while they were inside a Pennsylvania casino. So the Bucks County Courier-Times reports police were called to the Parks Casino parking lot on Saturday, and 3 children ages 8, 3, and 1.
1?
I know. We're left inside a vehicle.
Any age is a terrible, but
yeah,
1.
I know. And temperatures were hovering right at near freezing.
Jeez.
So court records show that a 39-year-old Jarrett Nelson and 30-year-old Ebony Walker, both of Newark, face charges including endangering the welfare of their children. They have surveillance video from the casino that show the 2 entering the casino and then returning with about a 2-hour time span.
Wow. So they were in the casino for 2 hours.
Yeah.
When their kids, and then what were the kids doing? I mean, if it was nighttime, I'd imagine they're napping or something.
Well, 7:33 p.m. to 9:11 p.m.
That's right around Kaiser's bedtime.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. And then, so they got sent to jail and they couldn't post bond. So now they're in the Bucks County jail. So now the kids are, who knows where the kids are? They're not just in the car, they're in the system now.
They are in the system. Hopefully they found a parent
warmer spot.
A parent who's able to take care of them. Proper grandparent, perhaps. Oh, that is a terrible story.
I know.
Huh. All right, good morning to you. 7:41. Looks like maybe a little mix of light snow and otherwise rainy conditions currently at 33. Great game for the Seahawks yesterday, and we'll have the wild cards for you here coming up this upcoming weekend on KMAS. This Friday, we are going to be joined by State Representative Drew McEwen as the legislature gets underway on Monday, a week from today, the 11th. And we'll get Drew in here on Friday to give us a look ahead to the legislative session, some things that perhaps he has on his docket and like to try to get through before the end of the session. Likely to be a quick one, as all the lawmakers will need to get in, get out. They can't politic while working. And so as long as the session remains in session, you're not going to see many ads or going to see any handshaking things and community gatherings, things like that. They need to make sure that they're doing their business, and we'll get them in here throughout the weeks, as Dan Griffey, I believe, has confirmed.
So will we be able to have them come in for the legislative session if they're going to be campaigning?
So there are different rules about that we do have to be oh, look at this guy.
What the heck's going on around here?
Thanks for joining us. Show starts at 6, actually.
What?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
It has for 4 years.
Oh, man.
Dale's here, everyone.
My bad.
Well, won't you come in and tell us what you've been up to the last week?
Yeah, everybody stands at the door.
Nobody wants to come in. They're nervous.
There's something.
Hi, Dale.
Hi. Heard you guys sharing a little bit of my childhood, being abandoned in a bar parking lot.
Did you hear about this? These three kids, Pennsylvania, an 8, a 3, and a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Are stuck in the parking lot while the adults are in, the adults, quote, quote, adults, are in casinoing in the freezing conditions in Pennsylvania.
I know, it's crazy. What do you got? Breaking news?
No breaking news. No.
Oh.
Well, I was reminded. I flashed.
Yes.
My cousins and I in the car, in the parking lot, and the youngest of us was Chip, and I think he was about, not from my 3 sons, a different Chip. I think he must have been probably about 5 or 4, and we were like 8, 7, 6.
Was it a freezing?
Was it winter, though?
No, but...
Where were you, Bonnie?
No, this is up in South Seattle. And tap on the window, and I'm the oldest.
Uh-huh.
Shh, pretend like you're asleep. And Chip was, would I like those guys? You know, and it was a police officer.
Oh, sure, okay.
So, I don't remember everything that happened after that, except I did go to court with my dad, and I think they all got in big trouble.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So
interesting. And so this would have been
Quite a while ago. And they were doing
that was
stuff
in the
back
50s.
then.
This was in the 50s.
And they cared back then.
They cared. Yeah. Well, we may have been there for hours. I don't know how long we were there.
Cop just watching the situation unfold.
Perhaps, yeah.
Interesting.
It was in 1892.
1850. Yeah. So, anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you for a while.
Sure.
And,
Quickly, though, was your drive-in much better than Jerry's drive-in? Or
it wasn't bad
any
at all.
updates? No.
I spun out a little at the stoplight at 7th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I slid.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we did when we took the road.
Now, there is a good mix of snow out there in the plateau by the airport.
Yeah, that's what
coming down.
the Purdy Canyon, some snow.
Yeah.
Let's take a break right now. We'll come back, talk with Dale some more, talk about the weekend that was, and some other things that are going on. Yeah.
Way to control the camera.
Little thing here. So we'll be right back after this. It's Daybreak, KMAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money every week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Is your business targeting the state's largest payroll? Military personnel at JBLM and Naval Base Kitsap surpass all others, and Swarner Communications gives your businesses direct reach into those markets with newspaper advertising, face-to-face events, email blasts, mobile marketing, reputation management, and more, all for one affordable price. Call Swarner Communications today, 253-584-1212.
Hi, this is Steve Goins from the city of Shelton, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right, good morning to you. About 13 to 8 o'clock here at KMAS. Carol and Dale and I are hanging out with you as we start out the new year, and a good morning to everybody. Dale, did you make it to midnight on Thursday night?
Not even close.
We didn't even make it. I didn't even make it till 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we were about 10 o'clock tipping over.
Gee, many Christmas.
I was determined, and then I went, it's not worth it.
No.
Well, I got the 9 o'clock New Year's Eve. I mean, the countdown.
You're the only legit one.
The New York one.
The New York one.
Yeah. So and then I'm like, I don't really need to see anymore. I mean, how many can you see, right?
They don't change much other than the number.
Exactly.
You know what's great is that we've got the record on demand or whatever.
Sure.
So I recorded the Space Needle. I watched it Saturday morning.
That's a different experience.
Yeah.
See the Space Needle celebration Saturday morning.
Still wasn't very
or Friday morning, first day.
But whatever. But yeah, Kathy and Anderson Cooper. 7.
That's a weird pair.
I love them. I am laughing every time Kathy opens her mouth.
Because is this 2 different worlds or what?
I think they're very friendly.
Good friends. Yeah.
And they're just so their on air is so different.
Yeah.
It's like and now somebody said that Kathy showed her top. She lifted her top off. Did you hear that?
Well, she's shown more than that publicly, so it doesn't surprise me.
What I'm wondering, too, is that the thing is, I don't even know. Whatever. She says that
she did that on New Year's Eve?
That's what I saw somebody said. And the other thing is that she said that she never had any alcohol in her whole life, which is great for her.
Yeah, that is.
It's just the way that she is so goofy.
Imagine if she got plied with some alcohol.
Yeah,
she's that way naturally. So I know people that are that way just naturally, and they are smart enough to know I don't need to enhance this buzz.
No,
I'm already buzzing. So beautiful football game yesterday. Maybe
I tell you what,
maybe the best first half of the year ever for Seattle.
They were looking really sharp.
So it was a big sigh of relief for a lot of Seahawk fans. I think a lot of us were wondering what was going to happen yesterday. I didn't believe that they were going to have such an astounding win at all.
I mean, it was 30-6 before halftime.
Yeah, I was hopeful that they'd win. They'd pull one out and luck out, but I didn't dream that they'd manhandle Arizona like that. And that is such a great feeling to have now going into the playoffs.
Well, now that you're here, let's talk about the playoffs. This weekend is wild card weekend. Start on Saturday.
AFC on Saturday, NFC on Sunday.
Kansas City at Houston, this matchup. Then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Who you like in those ones?
Well, Kansas City is the sleeper over there in that group.
10-game winning streak. Did they win yesterday?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
And they are really playing pretty good football. So I like Kansas City in that one. And then the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game, Dalton is the quarterback for Cincinnati, and he's been out.
Yeah.
But he says he's going to be ready to play in the playoff game, and that may upset the chemistry apple cart, whatever. Ben Roethlisberger is a wonderful quarterback. Pittsburgh has these flatline moments during a game where they just give up tons of points, and so if Ben has to play catch up the whole game, he's okay with that. But I think that's going to be probably the most exciting game of the two. I think Kansas City is going to roll on Saturday. Sunday, Seattle. Do we start at 10? Is that what I heard you say?
10:05. This the kickoff in Minnesota.
Well, we had our way with them a month ago, but this is the playoffs, and it's different. And Adrian Peterson was frustrated. In fact, that caused them to change their game plan after the Seattle shellacked them so badly. I still am confident Seattle will win Minnesota, and then they go back to Arizona and play the following week against the Cardinals again.
The night game will be Green Bay at Washington.
Yeah. Green Bay, I've got concerns. They just can't get an offense going.
No.
So that's a coin toss to me now. Washington's played really well the last 4 weeks. In my heart of hearts, I can't imagine Green Bay losing to Washington.
Right.
And then the winner of that one goes to Carolina.
Yeah, but everybody seems like there's been some off day games. Like yesterday, I can't remember the name of the team, but they played right after the Seahawks, or ended right at the same time, and they were playing horrible.
That wasn't the Miami-New England game, was it?
Yeah, Tom Brady had a horrible day.
It was terrible.
It was terrible. I'm like going, well, that's what the Seahawks looked like last
week. Yeah. Yeah, every team has those.
Yeah, they do have that.
And Arizona had theirs yesterday.
Yeah.
So they'll be ready in 2 weeks. You can well imagine they'll play good football. It'll be fun. It's good playoffs. I think a little lopsided. AFC is wide open. AFC has got anybody could win that thing. The NFC, Carolina, Carolina and Arizona are the two most powerful teams there. Seattle's the scary team. That's kind of how it all boils down.
But that's sort of how we were a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
8 to 10.
Everybody saw us
Nothing
coming.
to lose. We can play loosey-goosey.
Exactly.
So
8 to 10 hours a day. That's what the reports are, how much time Marshawn is practicing and training. They say last week he was running around people. This week they're running through people.
Yeah, he's been working out at an MMA gym down south. And his trainers said that he is just up to that point where he's ready to run into people now. So he's supposed to be at the facility this morning.
It was his first surgery ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So he has to deal with the healing process.
Yeah. Man, these dudes are tough indeed.
Yeah, so pretty good weekend. Away from football, the weather was beautiful. I love this cold, clear stuff that was going on. Man, so got out a lot in that.
We went out and played in our retention pond area. There's a part where the water is thick, probably 3 inches thick. So I was testing it, of course.
Yeah.
I was able
Before you threw Kaiser out on it.
No, but me and the dogs were running around out there, and people were sledding down the hills, and it was fun.
Sure.
I mean, it's a great weekend.
Yeah. Good holiday weekend. Absolutely.
Back to it.
Absolutely.
We were talking about some resolutions earlier. Mine were more water, of course. It's always on there. And then take the dogs for an evening walk.
There you go.
And then finally...
So now my new one is to take the dogs on a morning walk, which I didn't do this morning.
Right.
Way to start off the new year.
Started out good.
Well, I took them on morning walks for the last 5 days.
Yeah. Well, you got to get into the swing.
Yeah.
And then the other one is less analysis paralysis.
I was listening to that. So
that's when you kind of go, so here's another way to think about it. I read this on Reddit yesterday. Somebody will gladly pay $20 for fast food, but will not pay $2.99 for an app.
Right.
And that's kind of how it is.
The truth.
You just drop the money on the things, but then you get to an app, you go, boy, $2.99. I don't know. Am I even going to use this thing?
I can get a free app to do this.
And get a free. What if there's another one that comes out, or what if they make it free later? Then I just wasted all my money. So the analysis paralysis keeps you from pulling the trigger on these things. And again, Carol brought it up to her own gut instinct, and rather go more with your gut initial reaction. Then you take your initial reaction, then you look it up online, then you look for the alternatives online, then you look for people's reviews online, then you forget that you were even going to make a decision in the first place.
Right. I mean, it's more trusting yourself with what you want to do, not what everybody else thinks you should be doing.
Right.
And usually, as we all know, our gut instincts, once you start using them more, they are correct.
Well, you were talking about how it's a simulation of everything, all your experiences.
Right, exactly.
Who you are gives you that gut instinct, that instinctual way of doing things. So
that's kind of what.
But if you're sitting in prison and you got a gut instinct to do something, you might want to reevaluate.
Yeah. You got a lot of time to think, I hope. Unless you're let out early.
I didn't do it.
I just got a Facebook, I can't call it a tweet, but a message on Facebook, Shelton Matlock Road, very dangerous. Not quite sure what that means, but be careful. The Mason County Sheriff did tweet earlier that the roads were icy into just the side roads mainly.
Oh man, yeah.
So
33, 34 degrees right there right now coming in. So
we got about a half minute left here in the hour. Coming up next hour, Lynn Longan will be in about this time. We'll talk about the economic development of the county, and we're looking at photos from all around the Northwest with cars. It is slick out there in certain locations. Depending on your elevation, you could be getting a lot of snow coming down, and the roads in certain areas, people are goosing it a little.
Well, they're wet, and it's still, like Dell said, 33, and it's going to get cooler because we're hitting at dawn.
Now it's just coming up. Yeah,
it's the worst time to drive.
So, all right, that puts the wraps on this hour. We'll take a break, and then when we come back, ABC News is next. Then Marilyn Foster on some school delays and closures. We'll continue on this next hour on Daybreak. It's 7:58.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Calling all alphas, Cigar Dave is on Sundays from 3 to 5.
The fundamental reason that people smoke cigars is because they enjoy premium hand-rolled cigars. They enjoy the taste, they enjoy the flavor, they enjoy the camaraderie, and they will not allow the enemies of pleasure, whether the enemy of pleasure be the government, whether it be a local city council, they will not allow the enemies of pleasure to take away their right to enjoy a fine premium cigar, a passion that is near and dear to many alphas. And many dames as well.
Tune in all season long to NFL Preview right here on Westwood One. Hi, this is Boomer Esiason. Join me and Scott Graham each week as we preview the entire NFL schedule. We'll break down each matchup and tell you what to watch out for so you can be ready for all the NFL action. If you want the most comprehensive look inside the National Football League, then you need to tune into NFL Preview right here.
7:30 Sunday morning on AM 1030, FM 1033, KMAS News Radio. Start your mornings live and local with Daybreak on KMAS Shelton. Join Jeff and Dale weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 or FM 1033.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. The opening bell triggered a rush for the exits on Wall Street. The Dow plunged more than 400 points. ABC's Mark Remillard has details.
Not looking like the best start for markets on the first day of trading this year. Overnight, Chinese stocks plunged nearly 7%, forcing an emergency halt to trading. The sell-off in Asia is due to weak Chinese manufacturing data and mounting tensions in the Middle East. The poor performance in Asia is also affecting European markets, and that's translating into what's expected to be a very poor start on Wall Street at the open. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
President Obama is putting the final touches on a set of new executive actions to tighten gun laws, which are expected to include expanded registration requirements. Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio calls the plans misguided.
The president has not even attempted to point to a single mass shooting these actions he proposes would have prevented, because there isn't one.
The doors are reopening at the San Bernardino, California Regional Center today for the first time since it was the site of a shooting massacre. The 600 employees who work there will see tighter security. California residents are being warned to prepare for a week's worth of rain fueled by El Nino. ABC's Alex Stone is in L.A.
The warnings here are dire. Flooding and mudslides are predicted, life-threatening conditions, but many people here say they are welcoming the rain.
I'm excited for the rains. I like rain. I go to Berkeley, and so it rains a lot up there, so I'm kind of used to it a little.
It's so badly needed. That said, the heavy rain is also expected to be dangerous. Many people here have sandbags ready. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Doctors may not get it when it comes to the HPV vaccine. A survey finds more than a third of pediatricians aren't strongly recommending the cancer-preventing vaccine to parents and preteens. Prince William says fatherhood has made him a changed man. He tells ITN he's a lot more emotional these days, probably because he realizes how precious life is. This is ABC News.
Welcome to the 474 at Fridays. Welcome to $4 appetizers, to sharing with the table. Welcome to $7 entrees, to not ordering the usual. Trying something new. Welcome to $4 desserts, to actually having room for dessert. Welcome to lower prices and portions that are just right. Welcome to the 474. Apps and desserts starting at $4, entrees starting at $7. The 474, the new menu, only at TGI Fridays. At participating restaurants, prices apply to just right portions only.
Do you freak out every time you break out? Try Proactive. There's a huge reason Proactive is the #1 acne treatment. It totally works. For just $19.95, you'll get Proactive and a rotating deep cleansing brush. A $45 value, yours free. For only $19.95, you're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear or your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call now for a lifetime of beautiful skin. 1-800-644-5944.
An intensive manhunt continues in Israel for a man caught on camera shooting up a Tel Aviv pub. More from ABC's Jordana Miller.
On day 4 of the manhunt for the Tel Aviv shooter, police are focusing on the northern part of the city. That's where the body of an Israeli Arab cab driver was found, what police believe is the third victim. Nearby, a student found the suspect's abandoned cell phone. Police, special units, and detectives are combing the area, going house to house, screening security camera footage, looking for any clues. They say the suspect is a mentally unstable Israeli Arab. He's armed, dangerous, and they say could strike again. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Game of Thrones author R.R. Martin admits he's human, and he missed the deadline for his new book, The Winds of Winter. It won't be released on time. Believe me, it gave me no pleasure to type those words, he said. You're disappointed, and you're not alone. My editors and publishers are disappointed. HBO is disappointed. But he adds no one could possibly be more disappointed than me. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
Tune in all season long to NFL Insider on Westwood One. Hi, this is Mark Malone. Join me each week as we whip around the league and break down the NFL. We'll hear from today's stars and yesterday's heroes as James Lofton sits down with a fellow member of the Hall of Fame. We'll also check in with former greats Rod Woodson and Donovan McNabb to help us break down all the latest NFL news. That's NFL Insider right here.
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KMAS.
Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. Best deals, best price, best trade, and low payments. Gillis is your home for Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck with over 350 new vehicles available for you today. There are no second stickers at Gillis. Our pricing's competitive with all the big city dealers. Plus, our Mason County sales tax is lower, and you get more for your trade-in. Year-end closeout pricing, rebates, and low interest. Gillis is Mason County's only new car dealership at the City Center Mount Lock exit and 24/7 at GillisAutoCenter.com.
The Minnesota Vikings claim a seat in the playoffs. Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Vikings win the NFC North for the first time since 2009. After a 2013 win over the Green Bay Packers, they advance to the playoffs, facing the Seattle Seahawks next week.
Teddy shotgun. On third down, he has Adrian by his side. He'll give it to Adrian, who sprints up the middle, lowers the head. Second effort to the goal line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Paul Allen with the call on KFAN as Adrian Peterson runs 3 yards for a touchdown. The Cleveland Browns fire head coach Mike Pettin and general manager Ray Farmer. Many are confused as to why the higher-ups have decided to hire a new coach before finding a GM. Owner Jimmy Haslam explains.
Sashi Brown's job is Executive Vice President of Football Operations. He will have the ultimate say on the roster. So if you think about it, we just think this makes more sense to hire the head coach first and then second to hire the talent acquisition or the general manager.
And the San Francisco 49ers get rid of rookie coach Jim Tomsula after a 5-11 season. On the court.
20 on the shot clock. Moore circle right to Gasol. In the right corner, the Butler works on Tamari Carroll. Here is Butler jumper. Got it! Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
Jimmy Butler hits the go-ahead 3 to give the Chicago Bulls a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Bulls went on to defeat the Toronto Raptors 115-113. Butler scored a franchise record 40 points in the second half, breaking Michael Jordan's record of 39. In the NHL.
Goligoski, top of the left circle with 10. Center point for Klingberg. No, broken up by Clutterbuck. Calvin Nahan got it back to center. Klingberg on it there with 5 seconds on the Islander logo. One last shot wide left to the net. And the Islanders hang on and beat the best team in the NHL, the Dallas Stars, by the final score of 6-5.
Chris King with the call on WRHU-FM. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For Newsradio, 1030 KMAS, FM 103.3, Daybreak. Carol and Jeff here at 8:10, and a good morning to you. Had a great game yesterday on the radio here on KMAS. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes in a second quarter outburst, and the Hawks emphatically snapped Arizona's 9-game winning streak with a 36-6 rout of the Cards yesterday. Playing on that same field where they lost the Super Bowl heartbreaker last February, the Hawks dominated from the opening possession and led 30-6 at the half. This weekend, the Hawks will end up in Minnesota in the first round of the Wild Cards. Sunday morning at 10, we'll start our coverage at 8. Other playoff games this weekend are on Saturday. Kansas City at Houston, then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. And Sunday, the morning game, like I mentioned, will be the Hawks. And then Green Bay at Washington. We'll have all the games this weekend. Also in college basketball, Husky men beat SoCal 87-85, and the Cougs over UCLA 85-78. It's Black Monday, Carol, and that means NFL coaches... You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. The Monday following the end of the NFL regular season become known as Black Monday in recent years. A glut of coaches and executives being fired or parting ways with the teams. This year, the jostling began early with 2 teams making changes last night. Cleveland Browns fired their head coach, Mike Pettin, and their GM, Ray Farmer, Sunday after a disappointing 3-13 season. That's the team that had the Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football problems. Mike Pettin and Ray Farmer gone. According to ESPN, Pettin met with the team owner Sunday night, at which time the coach was informed that he was being let go. Also, let's see, the 49ers have fired their head coach, Jim Tomlinson, after just a year. Their team's CEO, Jed York, said in a statement that the coach had been a valuable member of the 49ers organization for the last 9 years, and they wish him success in the future. So a assistant coach for 8 of the last 9. Coach Jim had the play calling there this last year unfortunately, they struggled. They're 5-11. They missed the playoffs for the second year in a row. That's the latest here in sports. Time now for a weather check. And here's Carol.
Right now it's about 33, and we're just about done with the precipitation this morning. There's probably going to be some pockets of light rain from here on out. Definitely just going to be cloudy, and through the afternoon with the rain, temperatures are going to stay steady in about the mid-30s. So it could be maybe snowy, rainy where you're at, but it's not going to be much longer. Tonight.
Sorry, I pushed the button too quick.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now from Shelton's Media Row, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
I apologize there, Carol. Finish your thought, please.
You're
buy it. You're done.
You buy it.
Seconds. That's all you
I have the NFL on my phone and an app on my phone, and boom, 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 coaches.
Oh yeah,
were fired. Coaches fired. I was just like, good grief. I know everybody's like, if you're not winning, you're out of here.
If you're not winning, you're losing.
Well, exactly. I guess so. I guess they did some analysis paralysis. Those guys don't have analysis paralysis.
No,
the people that are firing them, the coaches.
They just let it go.
Yeah, they just like, who cares? Just boom, let's move on. New year.
All right, good morning to you. It is Daybreak here, 8:14. Lynn Lungan will be in about a half an hour here at KMAS. And we have been monitoring the schools, weather, and traffic conditions all throughout the morning here on Daybreak. And you can also follow along by going to the alerts banner at the top of KMAS.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to find the most up-to-date information. There are alerts, fire, road power outages, alerts. You see it right there on the top of the screen. And it takes you'll want to scroll down below the first bit of information and the forecast, and then you'll find all sorts of the outage information. We'll continue to update those as we get them. But I think after today, Carol, you were mentioning the forecast looks pretty good. We should be out of it.
Yeah, we should be out of it. Well, tomorrow's going to rain all day, but that's typical for our winters around here. And it's going to be in about the 40s, somewhere around there. And then the next, throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be partly cloudy, partly sunny, or mostly cloudy, mostly sunny, whichever way you look at it, with the temps in the low 40s, and then overnight lows 30s and high 20s. But it's not going to be rainy. It's going to be sunny, so that's going to be nice.
Okay. Senior Center is opening late today. Terry called in from the Senior Center, Terry Shaw there. So 10 o'clock is when the Senior Center will be opening. It's 8:15 here at KMAS. I'm just kind of waiting for my website here to load up so we can get to the next sound clip here.
Unforgettable.
So Natalie Cole passed over the weekend, Thursday night. Daughter of late jazz legend Nat King Cole died at 65. ABC News has confirmed she died Thursday night at Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles due to complications from ongoing health issues. Her biggest album was the 1991 multi-Grammy winning Unforgettable with Love, in which she covered her late father's standards there. Even that duet that we hear oh so often with Unforgettable, that signature hit, the duet, what a great one. So that's Natalie Cole. Pretty interesting stuff. The statement from the family says, it's with heavy hearts that we bring to you the news of our mother and sister's passing. Natalie fought a fierce, courageous battle, dying how she lived with dignity, strength, and honor. Our beloved mother and sister will be greatly missed and remain unforgettable in our hearts forever. So she was born February 6, 1950, and first attained chart success in the 1970s with R&B and funk chart hits like this one right here that we know.
This will be everlasting love. This will be the one I've waited for. This will be the first time anyone has loved me. I'm so glad you found me in time. And I'm so
So once again, Natalie Cole passing on Thursday at the age of 65. 8:17 here at KMAS, KMAS.com. A good morning to you. It is Daybreak here. We encourage you to follow along on our Twitter feed at 1030 KMAS. And on Facebook this morning, Carol, how is the Facebook reacting to the video that we published early this morning, about 5 o'clock this morning, of us driving into town? Now, it does look like I'm driving very fast in this video, but I was going well below the speed limit.
I know. I don't know why it looks like it's so
speeded up
no,
or something?
I did not.
It's like I'm coming off that on-ramp with somewhere to go. I tell you what.
I know. I was like, no. I don't know why it looks like that. But people said thank you and etc. And then they posted that's like the Shelton Matlock Road was dangerous. That was about 26 minutes ago. So the off roads, there's been some cars sliding off. We had somebody call in and said that they saw a car here, saw a car there on the side road. So not sure what's going on exactly right now, but I imagine that it's probably just sort of a little bit of the same and just, let's see. Okay, so there's a collision in northbound I-5 near US 101 mile Pars 104. That's the on-ramp north to US 101. So I'm guessing it's still happening right now.
We'll continue to update those weather alerts and have them for you here shortly. Also, we want to thank the folks that get out early and get out and treat those roadways.
Yes.
They do great work making sure the roads are ready to go. You know, we get out on the roads and for the most part, they're quite nice, you know, passable.
Right.
But there are groups of folks that have to be out before the roads even. They're the ones that make the roads.
I know. When we get out, we're like hoping that they've already done what they needed to do, working their graveyard shift. And
them, on the other hand, they're the ones that we are hoping for.
Yeah.
So big ups to those folks who get up early and make sure roads are fixed. Nice. We'll take a break and we'll come right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from Olympic Broadcasting. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? KMAS can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason, Thurston, Grace Harbor, King, Pierce, including Joint Base Lewis McChord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible, so how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at Olympic Broadcasting to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Have you visited the Mason General Hospital and Family of Clinics website lately? Information about local medical services and providers is available online and can save you time finding what you're looking for. Browse Mason General's webpage to discover that excellent patient-centered hospital and clinic care is just minutes from where you live. World-class physicians, award-winning programs, and state-of-the-art technology are all right here, so you don't have to travel out of town for the best care available. Visit Mason General's website today at masongeneral.com.
Mason General Hospital and Family of Clinics. Equal opportunity provider, translation services provided.
Mason General and Family of Clinics.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Good morning. This is Jim Morrell from Peninsula Credit Union, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on Newsradio 1030 KMAS.
Yeah, it's 8:22 here at KMAS. It's the 4th of January already. We've got a couple days already behind us here in the year 2016, and a good morning to you. Before we get to any other news notes for you this morning, want to let you know that at I-5 northbound, a collision on I-5 northbound at milepost 104. That's right near the US 101 interchange, and it was about 7 minutes ago. The ramp to northbound US 101 is partially blocked. The ramp to northbound US 101 partially blocked. That's that where you kind of get off the I-5, Carol, and you're going to get heading towards out here towards our way. And already that intersection is dicey at best as people are getting off, and then other people are slowly wanting to merge on to 101. And so be cautious as you're traveling around there. And then you go under the road, where it can be very cold as well.
Right. I mean, pretty much like we were talking about earlier, you have some places where the sun don't shine in your housing development, and then there's places that the sun is shining, where the sun hasn't shined, it's just built up of frost, and it's not just going to go away with some of the little bit of rain that we had or whatever it was this morning. And it's still 33 degrees all the way around, and much colder, I'm sure, up at Lake Cushman. But somebody wants to let us know what's going on up there, that'd be great. Call us or...
You can't find out.
No, but...
Where you go. It's a weird thing you type in. All right, it's 8:23. We'll get a morning stock number report here in about 6 minutes. And then likely to have Lynn Longan in to talk about the economic development of Mason County. Some other news notes, Carol, from the Associated Press. The standard issue driver's license that we most carry here in the state are still accepted at the airport, but that could change soon. The Tribs reports the Department of Homeland Security says it expects to release an announcement about changing air travel requirements. Washington would get 120 days notice before the rule requiring residents to provide a passport or enhanced state ID to fly takes effect.
Okay, so is that going to be across the whole U.S. or just Washington has to change?
An interesting turn. I'm not quite sure what it is about our driver's licenses that would cause you to do that. And what if you're flying, I don't know, just from Seattle to Spokane, intrastate travel, if you will?
I don't know.
I thought these passports or enhanced state IDs were to get us to Canada or Mexico.
I don't know. That is interesting. I mean, I unfortunately don't have a passport, so it looks like I may get one before I thought I was going to get one. Hey, it's cool though. Then I can just jump on a plane and go anywhere.
You never know. You never know when someone might call you up and say, "Hey, Carol, we're going to
Switzerland."
I was going to say Switzerland. Very nice. 8:25 here at KMAS. Some job cuts expected by JBLM, about 900 civilian jobs over the next couple years. The Trib reports the job reductions will mostly be accomplished not by filling current openings and offering incentives for folks to retire early. There's about 16,000 civilian workers the base currently employs, and all of those folks can listen to KMAS on FM 103.3.
Yes, they can. And then if they need a job, they should head over to Eastern Washington.
Oh, why?
Oh, well, it looks like they are having a growing number of jobs since the Great Recession in areas that pay above average wages. The Spokane Spokesman Review reports that Spokane and nearby Pend Oreille and Stevens counties have added 8,000, almost 9,000 jobs in the last 2 years. Most of that growth has been in professional business services, public and private education, health services, and leisure and hospitality.
That's a good sign then. On the line from Edward Jones, Karen Shade, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Well, I have a voice, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Did you have a nice New Year's?
Well, I was just recovering from this lovely little cold, so we did nothing this year.
Wow, it sounds like it.
In the last 4 days.
Well, let's get this report in and let you get back to fixing your voice.
There you go. Well, U.S. stocks are retreating on the first trading day of 2016 after a lackluster Chinese economic data renewed concern of slowing global growth. Adding to investor concern is the world's financial markets is rising tensions between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Saudi Arabia announced Sunday that it was severing ties with Iran hours after Iranian protesters set fires in the Saudi Embassy compound in Tehran. In domestic economic news, the Institute of Supply Management announced U.S. manufacturers contracted in December for the second straight month as heavy industry ended 2015 on a sour note. U.S. bond prices are advancing with weakness in equities. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is utilities, while the worst performing sector is technology. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 437 points at 16,987. The Standard & Poor's 500 index is down 44 points at 1,999, and the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 150 points at 4,856. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 248 million shares being traded, and decliners are outnumbering advancers by a wide margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $16.44 to $1,077.86. The spot price of silver is up 11 cents to $13.92, and crude oil prices are up 38 cents to $37.42. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.95%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 2.21%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is down $37.82. Costco is down $3.10. Boeing is down $4.61. Starbucks is down $1.99, and Microsoft is down $1.84. This is Karen Shade of Everett Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at everettjones.com. Have a good Monday, everyone.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Winter weather caused the Shelton School District to be on a late start schedule today, with classes starting 2 hours late and preschool classes being canceled. Weather conditions are expected to improve this afternoon. The Hood Canal School District, Southside School District, and most Pierce County schools also have late starts due to this morning's wintry mix of rain and ice. Kitsap County Sheriff's detectives have located human remains that are believed to be connected to the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a missing 89-year-old Central Kitsap man. Investigators suspect that Robert Archie Hood was a victim of violence during a robbery at his residence sometime after December 16th. The remains of an elderly person were recovered last Wednesday morning by sheriff's investigators in the backyard of a residence in a neighborhood located off State Route 300 near Belfair in North Mason County. Acting on criminal intelligence developed recently during this investigation, detectives began conducting inquiries within Mason County, which led them to a residence in the 300 block of Northeast Santa Maria Lane in the North Shore area. At this location, investigators found a large container located in the backyard of the property. Assistance at the scene was provided by Mason County Sheriff's deputies. The Kitsap County Coroner's Office has taken custody of the container. Together with sheriff's detectives, a joint parallel inquiry will be conducted where the container is sealed and the human remains forensically examined. The coroner is responsible for making a positive identification. Following an autopsy by the county's forensic pathologist, the coroner will make a determination as to the cause and manner of death of the person found inside that container. The new year starts with a new city commissioner of finance and accounting. But last week, outgoing city commissioner Mike Olson shared what he thought was the biggest highlight of his last 4 years on the commission.
The highest one and the most recent one is the passage of the Transportation Benefit District. Yeah. It wasn't my idea. I was the one who pushed it forward with the city, but it's going to have a 10-year or longer impact to the city of Shelton. I think that's just huge that the voters supported that. I mean, it's finally going to have a road funding source here in the community, which we've never had. I like history of Shelton, and I go back 100 years, and they were complaining about the roads. So finally we can make a dent in it. So that's my biggest highlight, I believe.
Olson was defeated by Kathy McDowell in the 2015 general election, but he says he plans to continue to attend meetings as a resident. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
I'm attorney Harold Carr. During the past 25 years, more than 8,000 people have trusted me to handle their personal injury cases. I understand how an injury can disrupt your life and cause financial hardship for you and your family. At the law firm of Harold Carr, we have 5 attorneys and 19 staff members experienced with negotiating and litigating with insurance companies. So if you feel the insurance company is not dealing with you fairly, call me, Harold Carr. Let us deal with the insurance company so you won't have to.
Car accident? Call Carr or visit us online at haroldcarrattorney.com.
We have awkward moments on the Darren Strudlow Comedy Show.
I'm standing in the hallway of an expensive hotel in little strawberry underwear.
Hi, this is comedian Darren Strudlow, and each week I have some of my funniest comedian friends join me on the Darren Strudlow Comedy Show. You'll hear stand-up, funny music, and yes, even an occasional awkward moment. So join me and laugh on the Darren Strudlow Comedy Show, Saturday nights at 9 on KMAS News Radio.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS, FM 1033, KMAS.com. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. Going to look at sports real fast. Russell Wilson. Ruffle Wilson, as my neighbor kid calls him. He's the greatest.
Does Kaiser know who he is yet?
No, but he does like football. He watches it.
All right.
Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes in a second quarter outburst, and the Hawks emphatically snapped Arizona's 9-game win streak, 36-6 rout of the Cards yesterday on a game heard on KMAS. The playoffs start this weekend, and the Hawks are in. The Hawks are in, and they'll play Minnesota Sunday morning at 10:05. We start our coverage at 8. Other playoff games are Saturday, Kansas City at Houston, then Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Sunday's games, the morning game is the Hawks, like I mentioned, and then Green Bay at Washington. We're going to have all of them for you. We'll tell you about the times starting tomorrow. In college basketball, the Husky men beat Southern Cal 87-85 and the Cougs over at UCLA 85-78. And finally, Saturday night at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College, the Oldtown Artesians lost to Sporting Everett FC 10-8. What an exciting game in the second half. Artesians scored 7 and Everett scored another couple, and it was a cold game, 38 degrees at first kick. It was a lot of fun. They'll do it again this Saturday night at the Pavilion at Evergreen State College. Bellingham United comes to town. That'll be a good matchup. Right now, though, to check the weather here, let's move it over to Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks.
Technology. Okay, it's about 33 degrees right now, and there's going to be a mix of wintry precipitation this morning, and then mainly rain showers this afternoon. The high now is going to be about 36 degrees. It's going to continue that way throughout the evening with some occasional showers. The low is going to be in 33. Tomorrow's going to be a high of 39. There's going to be some rain showers, and then turning more into a steady rain in the afternoon, a high of 39. Wednesday, we should see some sun, high of 44. And the rest of the week, we're going to have sunny weather with partly cloudy, only about a 10% chance of rain. Daytime temps are going to be in the low 40s, and overnight temps going to be in the low 30s to the high 20s.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from somewhere in the wilderness of the Olympic Peninsula, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at KMAS, 8:37. We'll
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, I was going to say we'll have a conversation with Lynn Longin here shortly, and she's at the lobby. We'll bring her in a few minutes to talk with her. She'll wrap up the program with us this morning. The Senior Center open late, 10 o'clock. Also, Olympic College, 10 o'clock, and a lot of other schools. The alert page is on KMAS.com this morning. The red banner right at the top has the latest in all the information. The other thing is we've been following the Twitter for emergency tweets, but another tweet that was published out talks about a current sitting congressman who is likely to hang it up after the first of the year. Who is that you have information on?
I do have some information. Let's see. According to a Democratic official, they told the Associated Press that Jim McDermott of Washington State has been making calls to colleagues to let them know that he is going to be retiring. The official spoke on the condition of anonymity, of course, ahead of a Monday news conference that he's scheduled in Seattle. McDermott, 79, is in his 14th term representing Seattle. He's known as an outspoken liberal in Congress, focusing on inequality issues and attacking Republican policies. He once drew attention to leaving out the words "under God" when leading the Pledge of Allegiance in the House, and he later said it was an inadvertent admission. I don't know. It wasn't even in the Pledge of Allegiance before, I think, 1950s or something. But anyways, McDermott becomes at least the 30th House member to announce plans to retire or seek other office. 30th House member.
Wow, we got a big election coming up this year. It'll be a presidential all the way down to the local races. So keep it here to KMAS for all the news of notes from the political season, including this Friday, actually, when Drew McEwen will come in and give us a legislative look ahead as they get underway on Monday.
That's true. And we have a webpage called Politics, and there will be the updated political stories. Things from Daybreak will be posted on there. And also on the sidebar, we have the latest stories that hook to who our legislatures, what they are coming on a daily basis, and to their website and to their information. So you can find out a lot of information on that page. It's under the news tab.
It's 8:39 here at KMAS and KMAS.com this morning.
All right. I just wanted to add on, you can find this on KMAS. I'm just adding it to the website now. That all morning programs through Olympic Parks and Rec were canceled. So afternoon and evening programs are still running.
Okay.
And that just came in through our email. You can send it to KMASnews@KMAS.com. You can do it to our Facebook. Those are the two main places that we'll probably see them in a timely manner.
It's 8:40 here at KMAS. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to live the country life. And when we come back, Lynn Longin will be on the radio to wrap up this Monday, talk about the new year and what we can expect from the economic development of Mason County.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country.
As you ice fish and skate on your frozen pond this winter, remember there is no such thing as 100% safe ice. It might be a foot thick in one location and only an inch or two just a few feet away. Snow is bad because it insulates the ice and slows down the freezing process. The movement of fish can bring warm water up from the bottom, making the ice unsafe. There should be at least 4 inches of clear ice before you walk on it. Check its thickness every few feet with an ice auger, a chisel, or a cordless drill. Wear a life jacket and carry a set of ice picks around your neck for self-rescue. Also, wear shoe spikes to add foot traction. Find more ice safety tips at livingthecountrylife.com.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
Read Living the Country Life magazine on your computer and mobile devices. Each issue features great stories, how-to help, reader tips, and recipes, as well as beautiful photos to spark new ideas for your place in the country. All the stories and features you love about Living the Country Life magazine are right at your fingertips, anywhere, any way you want them. Visit nextissue.com or zenio.com to subscribe. There's no limit to how many times you can enjoy your digital editions of Living the Country Life.
Need new ideas for what to do around your place? Register for a free Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips on key topics such as landscaping, animals and poultry, outdoor improvement projects, recreational activities, and much more. The newsletter delivers the latest trends, alerts you to informational courses, shares what other people are doing on their properties, and provides details about exciting sweepstakes and other contests. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Yeah, hey, Art, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I got a quick story. I was in California, and I was basically babysitting my mom's apartment. She had taken a week vacation to Las Vegas, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, and she had a big mirror on the mantle above the fireplace, and I had the sliding glass door shut. You know, there was no wind, and the mirror, like, flew off about 3 or 4 feet, and it scared the heck out of me.
Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell, live weeknights 9 to midnight on KMAS.
The craziness is returning to the kennel.
Wiltshire behind his back with a dribble, and he scores. Karnowski to his left, pulls up, shoots, scores, and a foul.
Zags basketball from IMG.
Corners, Nelson driving baseline, and a two-handed throw down dunk. Oh my goodness, Silas Nelson.
From tip-off to the final buzzer.
And throws it down with 2 hands.
Follow the action all season long on your home for Bulldogs basketball, the Gonzaga IMG Sports Network.
Hi, this is Brad Patterson from the Mason Transit Authority, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Well, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at KMAS, and it's 8:45. Time for us to talk a little bit about the economic development of Mason County, and happy to have in studio this Monday, and most Mondays, Lynn Longett. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning.
Well, Lynn, Happy New Year, first off.
Happy New Year to you.
I know, January 2016. Is that weird?
I've already had to write it too, and I did it.
You did it the first time?
You didn't do the 15. Okay, that's fine.
Man, that is such a trouble for some folks. Takes some months to remember to do 2016. The other thing that we've got coming up, Lynn, is that we are talking about tomorrow a legislative send-off that's happening, and reservations are required. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But first off, this is a big thing.
It is. There's no charge, but we do ask that you RSVP so that we can plan.
Okay.
We're not going to turn you away if you don't.
Oh, I'm sure. And so this is kind of a new look to this year. Is that right?
It's a little bit different this year. In the past, many of the organizations have done their own legislative send-offs, and this year we're partnering. So the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce is lead on it, and they've got North Mason Chamber, the EDC, the city, and the county. And we're all doing one event at the Colonial House.
Does that speak?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, excuse me, that makes it nice because you can go at once and see everybody, and then the politicians themselves don't have to sit there and repeat themselves a million times also.
Right.
Does it also add kind of a more unified front to a county being part of Mason County, not the North End Chamber, then the South Chamber, and it's kind of more of this us, them, let's all get together kind of thing?
It is more unified, and it really is it's a really good opportunity for people who are interested in what's going on up in the Hill, and they care, you know, and they want the legislators to know these are what our issues are. Well, this is your opportunity to come and tell them.
So the three locals will be there tomorrow from 7:30 to 8:30. Senator Tim Sheldon, Representative Dan Griffey, and Representative Drew McEwen will be to hear and make little presentations about some things perhaps as well they're looking forward to.
Yes.
Do you have anything that the EDC wants to see get done in the next year that these guys can help?
Well, of course, all of our economic development stuff, we work with the Washington Economic Development Association. So I'll be pulling together their legislative priorities, and I'll be bringing that with me tomorrow, as well as our local infrastructure prioritization list. So we've worked really hard this last year to pull everybody together in the county to make one list and to actually prioritize our infrastructure projects. We're not there yet, but we've got a really good start on it. Where in the past, it's just been a list where everybody would say, yeah, these are our infrastructure projects, and we'd say high, medium, or low priority, and that was it, but they weren't really prioritized. So that's a lot different. So by doing that, what we're able to do with the legislators is say, as a community, we've actually prioritized these lists. These are our number one issues. And so when you are doing capital budget per se, keep these in mind. I don't see anything really big coming out of it this year, but possibly next year.
It's pretty interesting that at least for Tim Sheldon, Dan Griffey, and Drew McEwen, their constituency base almost makes up the whole county. Now, there are different pockets, obviously, but for the most part, and it seems kind of unique when you look at the map.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be able to talk with these guys, and they're very close. I mean, they're very responsive to you as well.
They are.
And so this is going to be a good thing. We've seen these types of events happen in years past. Here's the list. They'll get to Washington, Olympia rather, and hopefully good things come. As people, is it a budget year this year?
It's not. I believe next year is the budget year, which is why I don't really see any big things happening this year. Next year.
But are you still we have a legislative wrap up at the end.
Right.
Are you going to sort of use that as a scorecard also to say, hey, where are we on these certain projects? Do you do that with them?
Not as I don't think it's as formalized as a scorecard, but we do bring them back, and they have an opportunity to tell, the attendees, this is what we've accomplished this year. This is what we're most proud of, and that type of thing. And, an opportunity for the audience, for the constituents to ask questions. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, 7:30 to 8:30 at the Colonial House. RSVPs are needed today. You can call 426-2276 or email info@masonedc.com. ChooseMason.com is the website, and this is for tomorrow morning's legislative send-off.
Yes.
Very cool.
Or call the Chamber of Commerce for RSVPs.
Call the Chamber as well.
I think on our website we put our phone number, but the Chamber of Commerce has taken the RSVPs.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll talk with you next week, and we look forward to hearing about how this legislative send-off all worked out. It's 8:50 now at KMAS. We'll take a break and come back to wrap things up here on a Monday morning.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Hi, this is John Patch, host of Talking Pets. Have you ever experienced unconditional love? Well, do you know what it is? Well, you can find out on Talking Pets every weekend right here on KMAS. I'm here with special guests every week to discuss your concerns and answer your questions about the ones who love you the most, your pets. So sit back or pick up the phone and give us a call at 866-606-8255. That's Talking Pets every weekend right here on 1030 KMAS and FM 104.1.
Tune in all season long to NFL Insider on Westwood One. Hi, this is Mark Malone. Join me each week as we whip around the league and break down the NFL. We'll hear from today's stars and yesterday's heroes as James Lofton sits down with a fellow member of the Hall of Fame. We'll also check in with former greats Rod Woodson and Donovan McNabb to help us break down all the latest NFL news. That's NFL Insider right here.
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KMAS. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale. Well, very exciting. Again, tomorrow morning from 7:30 to 8:30, it is the legislative send-off, partnering with the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, the North Mason Chamber, the county, the city, and the Mason County EDC all getting together at the Colonial House tomorrow. And again, it is a RSVP, 426-2276 or info@masonedc.com, or over our the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce's website as well.
We got a comment on our the video, and it says, "Didn't look like it scared Jeff any, and it looked like you were driving going pretty fast."
Lucy, it does. I will say it does look very fast, actually, and I wonder if it's the snowflakes.
I don't know. I didn't speed it up or anything.
It's like what happens when you go into hyperdrive on Star Wars or something like that. I'm going to jump into hyperspace. Yeah, it does look like that. I was going well below the speed limit, I can guarantee you, and fortunately, it wasn't me filming. Again, I want to make sure that people are aware. Carol and I rode in together today, and she was the man in the camera.
That's funny.
Oh, that's funny stuff. It does look like we're moving pretty fast. We are happy to also report that collision there, at I-5 northbound near the 101 interchange, that was cleared up a while ago, so we're looking good there. Otherwise, it seems like people have done pretty well for themselves driving around these parts this morning.
Yes. I mean, you have an alert that you know that the roads are icy. If you can avoid, if you can work from home, I mean, even if it's going to get cleared up early, I mean, why go out there in it? I mean, there's really no point with technology these days when you can just do your work from home if you have that convenience.
I know you were pushing to do the show from the house today, and that is a potential for the future. It is important that we get the information out and on the air, and if we can't make it in the studio, we got to do what we can to be on the air at 6 for everyone during Daybreak at KMAS.com. Tom Hartman's coming up next, then Dave Ramsey, Chad Benson, Alex Jones, and Midnight in the Desert. And I have I will post it on the website, on our Facebook page, and on KMAS.com, but I do have a little bit of an update for you about Midnight in the Desert. It is starting back live tonight with Heather Wade, and Heather has been the fill-in lately. We're still making our decisions on the continuance of Midnight in the Desert. I really felt as though we were getting Art Bell back for the duration. Unfortunately, it has not worked out that way. It's a great show regardless. We'll be back live tonight with Heather Wade behind the microphone. I'm looking at some other options, though, for some potentially more news-driven programming during the overnight, similar to the shows right before we get started. Looking at a beautiful picture on your computer screen, Carol. Where is that?
I wish we had a green screen behind us and I could put this up on there. It's the Hurricane Ridge webcam, and it's just gorgeous. The mountains are just full of snow, and the area has tons of snow, and the sky is just...
and face it towards night.
The sky is just a beautiful blue, and the sun's coming up. I mean, and that's what we're going to have the rest of the week after we get through tomorrow's rain.
It does look very nice at Hurricane Ridge this morning. You can find all these great webcams by going to the National Park Service's website, nps.gov. Tomorrow is Tuesday here at KMAS and 8:56 currently. We'll continue to have great guests throughout the week here on Daybreak. And if you've got things that you want to pass along, Daybreak at KMAS.com, KMAS News at KMAS.com. You can also tweet to us at 1030 KMAS, or check us out on the facebook.com/1030 KMAS. First big show of the new year after a kind of an up and down 2015. We are looking for great things in 2016. We got a lot of stuff going on here behind the scenes that will soon be in front of the scenes, if you will. And we're looking to thank you so much for sticking with us. And, there's a lot of different opportunities every morning. People got choices, and Daybreak is just one of them. We thank you so much.
Make a decision.
Make a decision and start your day with Daybreak. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again. It's 9 o'clock. Be safe out there if you're driving. Take it slow if the roads in your area are still a little treacherous. Things should be back to normal tomorrow morning.
They should. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety. And we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on KMAS News Radio.
Tune in all season long to NFL Insider on Westwood One. Hi, this is Mark Malone. Join me each week as we whip around the league and break down the NFL. We'll hear from today's stars and yesterday's heroes as James Lofton sits down with a fellow member of the Hall of Fame. We'll also check in with former greats Rod Woodson and Donovan McNabb to help us break down all the latest NFL news. That's NFL Insider right here.
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KMAS.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to